Hello everybody on YouTube and welcome to Feedback Friday number, I think, maybe 35. We're going to guess at 35. I don't know, something like that, 35, 36, mid-30s, something, somewhere around that. We take games made by you guys and we play them, and we try and think of useful and intelligent things to say about them, depending on where you happen to be in your particular game development journey. We have refined the process. Usually when we do these streams, I start them up at 2 o'clock and we just take in whatever games just show up in that first like 10 minutes or so. Like, this list, we've got like 7 games here lined up. And we just play as many as we can, but we close it off so no one else can submit. We're changing it now so you can submit at any point throughout the stream and still have a chance to get your game played. How does that work? Well, we're going to alternate. We're going to alternate between playing games as they were submitted, so in the order, just as we usually would do. Again, prioritizing people who are here and active in the chat at the time. And we're going to do that and alternate between doing that and raffling games off. So we do a little raffle. Anyone in the chat at the time can enter the raffle, and then we just pick one of those people in the chat and we play the game that they submitted. So that means no matter when you join, there is a chance. However, it's still better to submit early because priority and so on. But that means no matter how late you submit, there is still a chance to actually get your game played. So it's a whole new thing. Shout outs to Poma the dog, who's a streamer who was doing like Ludum Dare game rating and was using this process that I've just wholesale stolen from him. It's a good method of doing it. I much prefer it to how we've been doing things before. So I've been doing that for Ludum Dare rating, and we're also just going to do it for Feedback Friday going forward in general. Anyway, with that out of the way, our first game is going to be a priority game, and priority goes to 7 Ururu. That, I don't know if you have a better way of pronouncing that. I don't know what it is, but 7 Ururu, or I don't know. But his game Wingardium. We made this a year ago for Game Jam. Now I'm thinking about full game with this core mechanic, but I'm kind of stuck and not sure will the game be any good. Also, there is no sound in game. Okay. Savururu. Maybe. Alright, so let's load the game straight up, which is kind of cool. The link just, bam, we're in the game. No reading, no nothing, so that means he's relying on putting things in the game to tell me how to play. God. What kind of new age tech is this? Use arrows to fly to target. Okay, I don't know what I am or what the target is in this context, but I'm going to start pressing the arrows and seeing if we can find out. Okay, pressing the arrow made me this thing. Okay, that's good. We zoomed right in. Very clear. I am this wine glass. And I don't know if I should be, but I'm very trepidatious about falling a long distance because, glass. But we're going to try it anyway. Okay, we just landed there. Alright, we're there. Okay, and now we've got like a glow coming from this thing in here. Can we zoom? That's a bit better. Now we are this thing. We've got a timer, and we're just trying to get to a place. Oh, but it's like playing back the time of like the other thing. So I'm like creating a sort of timelines thing. Was this made for like stuck in a loop or something? So are these gonna start being obstacles, I guess? Like we're essentially gonna end up having to deal with the consequences of our own actions a bit? Yeah, I see. I just kind of wanted to test that. I think I already see what you mean when it's like, this is a cool little concept. Does it have legs to be something to grow? And I think, like, it does, but in a specific sense. But we'll come on to that in a bit. Let's just play for now. I like this cat picture. Kind of hard to actually keep track of what I am sometimes. I guess the glow is pretty useful for that. Ah, stupid me. That's the thing about this. It's just like every time something screws you up, it's just like, wow, it was me doing that. Especially when you're just floating around in the middle like this. I didn't track where I was meant to go. I should have paid more attention. There we go. Mouse on there. Makes sense, I guess. Right, where am I and where am I going? I actually can't... Well, I can see where I'm going, that mirror thing, so I guess we just... okay. Yeah, that was hard to spot, given that we just matched the colour in there. The drawing here is really nice. Oh, that's cute. That feels satisfying. Oh, I failed? Oh, did we run out of time? Or something? I just pressed the thing and it just said we failed. Nice UI bubble, though. Oh, it's all the way from the beginning? Do we get more time? Or I'm going to watch the timer a bit. Do we get... okay, well, it's just... we have 2 minutes. I see, and it's just... right. And it's nice that it freezes between, like, things. Oh, and I see it's even doing a thing that's, like, shunting the thing towards the thing so I can see where I'm supposed to go. I guess I kind of want to take paths that, like, get out the way of where other things are going to need to go. Uh-oh. Like we're, like, doing a rush clean or something. No. It's hard to tell what's an obstacle and what's not, though, a little bit. Most of it's pretty common sense, and it is fairly intuitive. I think it's mostly this area kind of in the middle here, with the bathtub and stuff like that. It's a little bit like, well, what's the thing and what's not? Because, like, the plant seemed to be an obstacle, for example, whereas it kind of looks like that would just be in the background. You know, like the portraits are in the background, and so on. But yeah, I do really like the style of it a lot. That goes there, does it? Okay, well, I think we can just hold it high and then just, yeah. Cat painting going all the way up there. This might be a little annoying, but if we just go fast. Okay. No, oh, I knew that was gonna. Oh no! No, I'm being bullied by my own decision. No! Everything I did, like pretty much just every other move that game conspired to body that particular journey. Candle. It's gonna fly on top of this light. Yeah, we could pretty much just sort of fit into the traffic there. Oh no, how do we get over this? Oh, that was tricky. That cost a lot of time. On the mouse. Mouse is gonna be annoying. Ooh. Ooh, no, I got strapped. Oh, we can't go out the door? It's been great. We could have gone, like, round. Suppose that would lead to some... you just send everything around there, wouldn't you? I don't know. It'd be kind of slow, right? But it would be, like, a nice option if I could have, like, gone... I wanted to come out the door and, like, just go all the way around, like, in here. But you could do that with things around here. So, like, that needing to go there could go around there. Oh, it's going to be a pain, though. 52 seconds. Still think it was probably the right idea. Alright, where am I? There. Oh, no. Oh, if we'd have gone a little bit faster up the mark. Okay. Hey, that was the last one. We won. No. Yeah, that's cool. I don't... like, it's a good project. I don't necessarily think it has, like... I don't know that I'd want to take this concept, like, super far. I don't know. You could see it having different levels and stuff like that, but I don't think it really wants to grow much more beyond what it is, because I think the simplicity is kind of what makes it, you know? But the concept is very cool. I think that's the sort of thing that would work really well as, like, I would say it's a mobile game, but I don't know how you would control it in a mobile game and have it feel quite good. It would just take some experimenting, I think. Not sure. Tricky one. But I love the art style. Like what you have to do, you have a simple goal, get thing to thing, and the game doesn't actually need to be very explicit about why that's going to be an issue at all. And at first, it did feel a little bit weird. It's like, well, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of moving thing to thing, and then it becomes clear once you start to see other things moving. And the rules of it are simple, you know, like you're not really doing any complex physics because I was just like, well, what happens if I knock into a thing and knock it out of the timeline? But it's like, oh, it just doesn't, right? They just stick to the timeline. It's only your actively controlled thing that can get bashed around, so everything just works, um, which is really smart. Yeah, you could see this with different arrangements of levels and stuff like that, with different interesting routes and things that you could take. I don't. The thing I think that worries me about it is I think if you try and add too much and too much complexity to it, you might ruin the joy of it a little bit. And I don't know how long it stays novel and interesting after you've played it once. Um, like, what are you like trying to do? Speedrun it? Is there an endless mode? I've had to know. Like, it's just like you're trying to get fat. I don't know. Well, they just noticed a little cat on the bed as well, just sleeping through this weird storm of things going on. I can kind of see the issue you're having with it when you say, like, full game with this core mechanic. I think if you keep it simple, I think, yeah, go for it. I think the mechanic is good. I think you are onto something that is interesting, and it is worth thinking about a full game with that as the core mechanic, you know? Um, I just be careful of what you define as a full game, you know? Like, you don't need to. Less is more, right? Keep it simple would be just would be my main. I don't want to offer really too much specific advice on that one. I think you're doing fine, but like it depends entirely what you mean by this. I'm just guessing at a bit of context, but like yeah, I think as long as you don't just try and go too mental with it, it'll be really cool. All right, next up, we are gonna raffle a game. So if you are here, you have submitted a game, so you're one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Get ready to pay attention. We can start raffle in the chat, assuming this actually works. Okay, so you can see a raffle is started in the chat. If you are here and you've submitted a game, use !join now in the chat, and you'll be entered into the raffle. If you don't stand a chance of winning, so you have to be here, you have to be active in the chat. And your game could be next, ahead of time. Only my Streamlabs page isn't working, so it seems to be working, because it's saying people are entering the raffle, but the Streamlabs page has just been like, look kind of loading. There we go. Okay, it's there now. See, this is interesting because like sometimes we do get to games and the person just isn't there, but I'm like, well, I guess we have to play it or whatever. This is way better. There's all these people submitted, but like they're not all necessarily here right now. Well, given that's the case, Yasser, I'm very surprised you didn't enter the raffle. You could have been next, like either way. Like just because you're next in priority doesn't mean you can't enter the raffle, you know? But you are guaranteed to be after this one, so it is what it is, I guess. All right, raffle's over. Athaka Spen. There's a winner right at the bottom. See, submitted last gets played second. The will of the dice spoken. Just helps a little because we still reward people for being on time by mostly playing them in order, but it also just helps people who can't like show up necessarily super early or just like struggle to get in at the very start of the stream and so on. So yeah, I like this process a lot more. Anyway, Warning, this is pretty hard, lol. Excellent. Controls, arrow keys to move Z to start, X to view help screen. I'm not gonna read anything else. Arrow keys to move Z to start, X to view help screen. Can we can. Artorias. Press. What is this symbol? Press. What? Dots? You said Z was the thing, right? But X help occur. Hold button to focus. Made in 1 week for an S&T ACM Arcade Game Jam. Music is adapted from Jack of All Trades by Case Jackal. So is that still working, by the way, isn't it? Yeah, let me turn it down a little bit though. It's like a bit loud. It's clipping a little. There we go. Green is my hitbox. Okay, I presume that's not going to show all the time, but yes. It's a little bit made for game devs or made for gamers in a way, I suppose, by saying this is your hitbox with no further explanation. But I guess that mostly works. Okay, that button appears to be dead. Wasn't sure if I was going to go on forever then. Okay, we have like a sword. Focusing. Man, maybe we should have read more of that. Oh god. It like slows down the sword? I'm not really sure what it's doing. Oh yeah, it does hit things. I'm not sure if it can hit all things, or if there's a lot of feedback on it hitting things. Not really always super clear. And it's not really clear if I should just be focusing on avoiding things. Or you help again. Faster spin, slower movement. Okay, so it just hits things either way, but just what does more damage if... Right, yeah, you can see sometimes there's feedback. I think it's on the ghost things that threw me, because their feedback seems to be like their eyes get bigger for a frame or something. Yeah, like not super clear. And am I just trying to survive? Like I'm fighting things because I've been given that as a tool, but like I'm starting to feel like that's not really a very meaningful option. Here, maybe, because I presume I have to kill this guy for it to end. That's like sort of interesting, and then it goes in a loop and you have to like time when to press the thing. How to do that while also dodging. But yeah, for a game like this where you're almost constantly moving, putting in a mechanic that's mostly based around waiting, like waiting for the thing to leap around, there's something a little bit jarring about that. I don't know what... Oh, jarring's not the right word. Something a little bit like doesn't... whatever the opposite of the word synergy is. Yeah, why am I even fighting then? I'm not sure it matters, right? A little hitbox and it's bullet hell. There's quite a lot to think about, the hitting things. Not like in most shooters where you just hold a button and blah 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 blah, and if you hit things, cool. And mostly you worry about avoiding stuff. This is actually quite an ordeal to try and hit stuff, so for the most part, why bother, you know, until you actually get to the bosses. You get hard to write, I suppose, yeah. The art's nice. Oh my god, I just literally ran it straight into that. At least we got one back again. Yeah. But it's like, there's no incentive for me to do it when I'm at full health, you know? There's a valid risk reward when I'm like down life to be like, well, we could risk losing even more life, but we might get a life back. Life is pretty valuable. Despite saying there's no incentive, is me trying to hit things anyway. I just like using the tools I'm given, even if they don't necessarily make sense. Oh, that feels pretty good though. Like be able to follow him around like that and be like da 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 da. Oh, getting myself wrecked though, because he does that pattern. It's kind of hard to. And that's a shame because that feels really good, but like you just get wrecked for doing it. Oh, I was gonna just try level 3, but alright, we'll give this one a go. Man, some of these things are just really hard to like I hit that ball, felt like quite a lot relatively. Like that guy hit like loads. It just doesn't die. Either have a lot of hit points or is invincible and therefore shouldn't show damage feedback. Yeah. I just really want to do the thing where I follow it around, but if you do that you get killed. Oh, you have no maximum to your lives? Right, I see. So yeah, well, wasn't necessarily super clear. This is where the help says that, wasn't then. No, it doesn't, but... Okay, yeah, no maximum lives is, like, interesting. But, like, just, how long it take forever to kill things? Like, the risk seems so high. Like, I suppose that assuming I'm not that good, right? But, like... If I'm not that good, then the risk-reward feels, like, insane. Of just, like... Because you gotta position yourself to hit the thing. Like, in a much more specific way than you would normally in a bullet hell game. Let's close this down. Position yourself much more specifically than you would in a bullet hell game, because you've got angle to worry about, right? And like a fixed distance and an angle. And so doing that while also bullet helling is very hard, and that's fine. It's fine to have, like, you know, it's bullet hell, but also there's that little extra harder element on top. And that is interesting. But the problem with it is then you've got to balance your risk reward like accordingly, right? Because otherwise I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, you know? Like, I feel the best way for me to play that. Like, I know you said there's no maximum life and so on, so in theory there is something you can gain from going after. But the risk reward is so skewed against me that, like, I'm much more likely to take damage trying to do something like that, which is extremely hard, versus just trying to avoid all the bullets, which is relatively a lot easier. and like I'll just try and take the pot shots where I can because like, oh, I know I can recover some life. But everything had so much life, or like a few things seem to die in like 1 or 2 hits, but like a lot of things seem like they take a lot. Like you had to be like hitting them right from like when they appeared to when they were going away to really stand a chance at killing them, or at least like half the time they were on screen. And that's like, it's not worth it. That'd be a cool power up. But I like the mechanic. I like the thing of it. I think it's just the way it's. I think it's just the risk reward of it is just a bit skewed, and just the way it's set up. Um, and there's loads of things you could play around with that concept. Like the ability or something that makes the sword get a higher distance from you, or spins faster, or there's more of them, and you go on forever, right? With like playing around with how weird or powerful or not powerful or awkward to use something like that is. Um, but you just got to make sure that the game around it and the enemies and stuff support it. That's really cool. Anyway, one thing we've forgotten to do that we need to do is mark off the ones we've completed. And thank you, Athakaspen. If I'm saying that right. Next up, we got Clown Town 1443 from Yasamieli again, which I've got to reinstall on Steam. Oh, we haven't seen this since the cursed episode. Which, well, I say that as if it was a long time ago. I think it was the episode before Ludum Dare, right? What's with the spreadsheet? So we've taken a new approach to how we do these games. So we leave the submission open for the entire stream. So a submission is open right now. You can go submit. You can submit at any point you want, and instead of just doing them like 1 to 10 or whatever, we do a bunch of games until I get sick of doing them. We'll probably decide on a fixed number eventually, like I do 10 games or something like that, right? But we do a number of games, and the way we do them is we alternate between doing them in order of which is submitted first, and also based on people who are here in the chat, and raffling off a random game. This means that people who submit late still have a chance to get their game played, even though it's still way better and much more guaranteed if you submit early. That's what the deal is with that. And I've got to download this and hope we don't drop too many frames in the process. Exactly, we're applying a bit of game design to Feedback Friday itself. I like it a lot more. I said this before. I stole it wholesale from a guy who was also doing like Ludum Dare feedback streams and was using this system. Pomo the dog. It was a good stream. Hello, Sean JS. 0 plus 0 equals 0. I mean, that is true. I don't remember this. Oh, thank you, Neo Shade Zero, for gifting a tier 1 sub, and grats Bulba the Cat. Oh, Bulba Cat. I think I confused it with Bowser the Dog there, so I just say the Bowser the Dog and Bulba the Cat. So this is us back in Clown Town. I don't have my controller plugged in, but that's not going to screw us like last time. I think my keyboard is working, so that's not going to screw it. So this is kind of our level select screen. You I'm sure I probably said this before, but like, pick an outline size and stick to it, and pick a style and stick to it, right? Largely we've decided that this is like hand-drawn, messy, thick outline style, which is very nice, that's fine. But like your fonts over here, the way you're drawing, which is always hard to get right in the same way, but you kind of have to make a font that sort of looks like this if you want to have this kind of style, otherwise these just stand out really massively as out of place, especially like this 5 here. And the same goes for like your circles and stuff that you've got. Go on, zoom in, zoom in. Here, like a way thinner outlines than everything else and so on, right? I know it's kind of just your aesthetic that everything is kind of meant to look a bit like that, but yeah. Anyway, this is probably my save or whatever it's remembered, I don't know. It's a long time ago there was a clown, yep, we remember this. Oh right, that's just that, of course. Up, down, and move.
Let's go.
Oh, and a little let's move noise. I don't remember that. I can't really remember what my feedback was for this now. It's a shame because it wasn't that long ago. Oh, I didn't even read. What did it say? Something to balance? Oh, is it just left and right? Like, it's just telling us these controls. God, it's so slow, right? Does it need to be this slow? I think I remember saying I didn't, like, in a way it was kind of cool that it was slow because it gave you time to react to things, but I don't know, I don't remember exactly what I said. Old me is an idiot, we're going with whatever new me says. Honk honk. Well, I don't know if it was, it just, I don't, okay, it's hard to really tell, it doesn't look like it's running slow, it just looks like the game numbers are slow, you know? Like... Okay. CD's turbo. Oh yeah, and that's the thing where we just sort of randomly take damage. And it's not really ever explained why, and then we can't, well maybe we did our turbo when we ran out. So I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really feel like a whole lot has changed. Oh, what happened there? I looked away from the screen and I was upside down, but we were just traveling along flat terrain. What happened? Well, we did it. Oh, we got overheated. Right, okay. Well, nothing told me that. You know, like... I'm not looking at a random bar in the top left that I have no context for. I'm looking in the middle of the screen where like, the stuff is happening.
Let's go.
Alright, I see that now. Yeah, I can, like, the game is running performance-wise fine. It's just really slow. Yeah, I can see my frame, my FPS is 67, like, in bomb. I mean, that's still kind of low. But, like... Unless it's, like, syncing, I guess. But my FPS is high enough. So it just means that the numbers you've chosen to use are extremely low. Like, this is what you consider fast. In some ways it works, because it's like, oh yeah, you can adjust in midair and that kind of stuff, and like, you get a little bit of time, you can react to things. I think my issue with it last time was just like, because you can see something coming from far away, and because it is so slow, you react like that, and it takes a long time for my break to have actually done anything in that. Like, say I pressed that really early there, what felt like really early. We still stopped like just in front of these spiders. A bit like playing Tribal Tension, you know, you get... So you gotta play like 20 seconds in the future. I will always get, by the way, increasingly harsh with like repeated submissions. Because then I can see what you have and have not decided to change in between the submissions. Well, the problem is that the numbers you just haven't you haven't used big enough numbers. Unless you're saying the game looks a lot faster when you play it, then maybe something is wrong. But my frame rate is high. It runs fast on your PC. Well, this looks fine, you know, like that looks like it's moving at a fine frame rate and everything. It's just it just feels really slow. Like just the physical, like the game numbers that you've just set just aren't very fast. Like I'm holding up. It takes a while to, you gotta hear that length move before you can. I mean, it's possible you could have a sleep issue, but then my frame rate would be lower, right? I don't know, man. There could be any number of things. I can't really help.
Let's go.
I'll be there, but like, I would just. To me, it just looks like you just. You told the thing to only move at 5 pixels a frame or whatever, right? I don't think it should be a delta time issue. No. The thing is, like, if it did actually, if everything was going way faster at that point, that would just still be impossible because you wouldn't be able to react in time.
Let's go.
So even if everything was way faster than it currently is, the game would probably still need work. No. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about this because it's not really any different from last time, right? I like the concept and everything. Even the daft aesthetics of it are cool. But the timings and stuff like that is just kind of a huge issue. I don't know what you say, like, oh, it runs faster on my machine, but I don't. Just like looking at the frame rate here and looking at how it just seems to be on the screen, it's hard to believe. I can't see why you would lie, but at the same time, it's hard to believe you. Because like it looks fine. Like look at those fireworks. They look fine, They didn't look like they were running at a lower frame rate. See the trailer? Where's the trailer? Oops. Store page. Oh yeah, with the boost and stuff. This doesn't look a lot faster. It looks a bit faster, but... I don't know, this makes me think maybe I'm just doing something wrong, because it doesn't look like it's running faster. Obviously he's going way faster when he's turboing, that's extra, but... No, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's go.
That's cool. No, yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah, it's hard to tell, obviously, because the video is different frame rate and so on that. But you can, yeah, maybe it is running at half speed for some reason. What version of GameMaker are you using? Like, what version of Studio 2 are you using? Ah. Does the sleep margin issue affect 1.4? There was like I can't really remember the explanation of it, but I had a similar-ish thing going on with Pokepoke at one point. Well, that was to do with pre 2.3 versions of 2. I'm Googling now. I don't even remember if 1.4 allowed you to set the sleep margin. I can't remember how it works. I don't know. I don't really know with 1.4. But probably recommend just not using it. It's not supported anymore. But and I guess that's not always an option. Let me have a look. We're doing like minor surgery here, folks. We're gonna blow some dust off some ancient technology. Are you ready for this? When it loads. Right. You remember this? How did I put 2,000 hours into something that behaved like this, man? Christ. Alright, change global game. Come on, there you go. Where? Right. It's hard for you to test it because you're not suffering the issue. Yasa, if you wouldn't mind, send me the code. Can you send me the project file? I have a suspicion on how I would fix it. I think you might actually be able to fix it just by changing this from 1 to like 10. I think it's kind of that my computer's running it too fast and it doesn't have long enough to sleep. And so it's actually, yeah, it's a bit weird. I can't remember the full explanation of it. And I might be wrong. Because how the sleep margin works, in a very basic, probably getting most of this wrong way, is that when you finished rendering a frame, GameMaker needs something to do for the next. Like, if you rendered your frame in like an MS, GameMaker needs something to do for the 15 remaining MS. If you're going for 60 frames a second. So it will just sleep for that length of time. And I think the sleep margin is setting like the maximum amount of time it's allowed to do that for, or something like that. I feel like that would just make every game super slow or something daft. I don't remember. Or it might be something to do with how Windows has changed behavior wise or something like that. Send it to the surgery, yes, or something like I don't know. Bunch in here I still need to get through, but like, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Get it uploaded somewhere and send it there. We won't do it this stream, but I'll try and see if I can sort it for you. And if I do, I'll research it properly and we'll do a little video about it. And we might like explain how other people can solve it if they run into the same thing. Because I kind of suspect it's related to that. If it's not, then maybe we'll try and work out what the heck it is, you know? Let's close that. Yeah, assuming it fixes it. If it doesn't, then I don't know. We'll try and work out what does fix it. But yeah, I don't really have much other feedback on improvements because it looked entirely the same. But that is what it is. Maybe it's a little bit of Schrodinger's game at the moment. Gotta have a tough one that. Anyway, next up we're gonna have another raffle. Atelier Junior, why have you submit? Right, no. You don't get to submit like 3 games. If you come up in the raffle, we'll play one of your games. Edgereal Junior, you don't just get to submit like 4 games. I know I suppose we didn't put that in the rules, but it should go without saying. We don't have that much time. So if you come up in the raffle, or we get to you and we play one of your games, we play one of them. So we're going to complete this custom raffle. If you're here and you have submitted a game for the Feedback Friday form, use exclamation mark join now to be in with a chance of having it played. You get a solid 60 seconds. I kind of want to reduce that, but I didn't find a way to do it smaller than a minute. Yeah, it did seem odd, but it's possible. It's possible that it just sort of looked that way. It's hard to eyeball Neoshade. That's the thing. That's a tricky one. And if it's not, then at least when I look at the code, I might be able to see maybe maybe he's used Delta time and there's some other issue going on. You know, I don't know. There's too many questions I have without looking at it. Okay, lousy dev. Congratulations. I'm gonna play Kinda Deep. It's an LD game, so we'll be rating it because that's how we do. Oh look, I'm here again. Kinda Deep. Get to the deep ends of deadly procedural caves with enemies and mushrooms. Upgrade your drill with the mushrooms you collect during your journey to run away from the hot lava above you. Lava above you. Dig down and upgrade. That's generally been like, if you pick a random Ludum Dare game, there's like a 40% chance you get mentions of digging down and upgrading. Like, in any given game. Not necessarily a bad thing, just how this team worked out. Alright. No control instructions or anything. It's fine. That makes me presume that they are all delivered smoothly and intelligently inside the game itself. Yeah, deeper. That's what they should have called the theme. Deeper and upgrades. I think it's just how most people's designer heads went for it. I think it's just like, get deeper and deeper, so you gotta keep getting deeper. Well, how do we keep getting deeper? Well, we can make it like kind of procedural or whatever, or just a lot of level. But then like, well, if it keeps getting harder and harder, how do we keep getting further and further? Well, Upgrades! How do we make that be a progression? How do we make it go further and further? Upgrade! Kinda deep. That's quite a name. Windows, do not protect my PC. There's music though. Anyway, it's good. We gotta do it. It's got a drill. There's a box. Move around. We can jump. That is an arc. Boing, boing, boing. That is like a rubber ball arc. Look at that. Doing, doing, doing. Tells me down in here, but also down works out here. But I'm gonna do it down here because that's what it tells me to do. Oh god, we fell quite a long way. I kind of wish I had done it where I was doing it, because at least I could see what was going on below me. There's like a bat thing. Can we fight him? It looked like we could kind of land on him. But maybe not. Maybe we're just meant to get away. Oh, okay. Right, it's like we had 4 hearts, but I remember getting hit twice. Okay, right, there's just very quick feedback on the damage, and there's not really much of an invincibility period, so you just sort of go, and then you're dead. But yeah, it doesn't look like we can't really fight these foes. That digging effect is cool when you actually. It takes a while to get going. Like, it doesn't really look like much when you go through one tile, but when you go through a few, like, that looks really cool. Oh god, that happened. Okay, and then we kind of, like, once it gets going, it is kind of a weapon. It's just the startup of it is a bit rubbish, right? What? Shovel came up. That did something, but we don't really get to see what it was because it came up for about 2 frames. Oh, okay. They look like a shop, but they couldn't work out how to do anything before. Okay, we've got. Let's just keep going. I guess mushrooms are like the currency. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you can't actually go. So you actually have to go through the well. Okay. Questions about that, but alright. I don't mind the mixling either, the rotation's quite nice. Is this one running too fast? I don't know, it looks like it's running at like... I mean, I know my eye has never been quiet. It's been historically bad for frame rate. But like... This is just very... fast, you know? Yeah, yeah, you're right, yeah. But I mean, that could be, I mean, if it's delta timed or whatever, like, doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay, that one actually came up with very briefly came up with a mushroom cost. We needed like 35 mushrooms. You have to like, stand up, okay. No more shopping. Yeah, the red dots are bad. For some reason I assumed they were like gems or whatever at first. And it took me a while to really kind of properly clue in. Because again, it's kind of chaotic. You know, it seems obvious, like, you hit one once, it blew up, why you hit one again? But it's just like, there's so much going on, it takes a while to really internalize any lessons. Like, I've taken 2, what did I even take 2 damage from? I don't even, oh god. The kind of weird invertedness of the controls is tricky as well. It's like, Oh, except it depends what direction you're facing when you start digging. I think. Yeah, because then it's like that, and then if we face this way and dig. Oh, no, it's the same either way. Why did it felt like it was... Oh, did I go upside down? Was that why? Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like I have to press right to go left and vice, but I don't know. Feels weird. Mushrooms. Mushrooms good. It's kind of hard. I don't know if it's the palette or what, but it's hard to distinguish between bad things and good things. A little bit. Unless I'm looking real close, which is hard to do because we gotta go fast. Go away, little bug thing! Oh. And just when you've got like only... When you've got 4 lives, like that, they're a big deal. Like it's very significant when you get hit by something in this game, right? Because it's 25% of your life. I didn't, I just lost control. Something probably worse. I should have just said, yeah, I went for the red thing. It's just there, you know? And, is that damaging me? Are the bombs, like, I assume they were just doing a knockback at first, but they also actually causing health damage? They are, so that's the thing. There's just like a second of feedback when you actually take damage from something. Which is like a little flash, or whatever. It's just like it's a literally something you can miss by blinking. But it's so significant and so much of a big part of the game. Like, you know, 25% of just your remaining life for that entire run gone. Should be a significant moment, you know, screen shake, red flash on the screen. I don't, not necessarily saying all those things specifically are the best or whatever. It just needs a lot more. Right? However you want to do it. Those kinds of things. It needs a hell of a lot more than like a 1-frame flash and like the tiniest little knockback effect. And the health just sort of going at the top of the screen where like it's kind of in my periphery. See, like I've taken 2 points of damage there and all it felt like I did was just fall down from the start. But I got hit by like a thing that came out of the wall and I landed on this red dude. But like that is just not enough, you know? Like look at that! That is how you show that we've taken 25% of our life? That is not good enough. Like, the big thing with this here is like obviously it's a jam game, you only had so long to do the things. But these hearts... Oh, nice Doom thing not working. There we go. These hearts like do a cute little rotation, and this does like a little rotation. Look at all, like there's so much attention to detail and stuff in here. But so there was time to do these things. I would much rather these did not rotate or whatever, even though it looks very nice and so on. And more time was put in just the damage feedback, you know? It is a shame about, I guess you probably spent a while trying to get that to feel right and you just couldn't quite get it, because obviously, yeah, it just feels very obviously like, ugh, where he sort of like flings himself like downwards. Why does he rotate like that though? Why don't you just set his direction down? I don't know. There's probably a lot of reasons. Oh, we crash? Might have crashed. I do still dig the music. Ah. Try that again. I do want to play it a bit more. Like, this movement and stuff is very cool. The boom, boom, boom. All that kind of thing. But, like, not at the expense of really basic important things like that, you know? I think it's not just that as well. It's just like, you know, the palette is very samey all around, and it's hard to like distinguish things from one another. Also, those red things that blow up, like, they occupy a very small space, and generally the idea with pixel art and the advantage it gives you with these kind of games is it lets you be very precise, right? And it lets it be your eyes very clear, usually, on just, like, when it's gonna count. Like, when a hit is gonna count and when it's not, and so they generally have the advantage of often feeling very fair, pixel art games, when it comes to collisions and stuff. But like, there's like a radius on them that sticks out like 2 or 3 tiles or something like that. And it just sort of goes off and... Oh wow. See, I'm running around picking those things up and I've lost half of my life because just in the middle of them all was just a little enemy and there's... the turning, man. Oh. Did it again, man. I think they're mushrooms. Cause like they're just red things of about that size, you know? Color is a big deal. Like, yes, to some degree that is just my fault. I'm just an idiot. But palettes and stuff, oh god, are important. What also doesn't help is that the full speed is so aggressive and doesn't have a cap. Like, you can just go and like to the point where you just no chance of like reacting to anything. It's like you'll just fall into the like it's just like repeated leaps of faith. Like, they're not leaps of faith, they're just straight up falls of faith. I'm just like, I hope there's not an enemy down there. I guess to some degree it's helped by the fact that you're drilling down, and when you're drilling down you can hit things like that, but it's kind of limited, you know? And it's only if they happen to be directly below you, or just if you drill down into a red thingy or something, you know, that happens. I think I've even been able to buy an upgrade yet. How do I buy it? How do I buy it? It doesn't even tell me how to buy it! What's the button? They should be, because they were in... It got raffled, so they'll be... I can't remember whose it is. Lousy dev. He said, couldn't find a way to make it better. I think we're gonna leave that one there. We couldn't work out how to upgrade it. Oh, hang on, we gotta rate it as well. Like, aesthetically, it is really, really cool, but we can't really go much higher than, no, we'll go to 4, just because there's a lot of love and detail in it. But it's so flawed when it comes to the mechanics because of just how similar good and bad things kind of look. Even these I mean, I know these lanterns don't like do anything, but these bats just kind of look a lot like the lanterns, you know? The red things look quite a lot like the mushrooms, and the enemies, like, there's just red and yellow things everywhere. The green things are the easiest to note that, oh yeah, that's a bad thing, because it's just like, there's just only one green thing, and it's a big plant thing that can eat you. And when they're all similar size and quite a low resolution without much detail, things like your colors really matter. I think Mundar is a very short amount of time, you're right. But I think that's one of the most frustrating things about this, is just because I can see so much love and attention went into making everything feel poppy and so on, without enough going into making the game bits feel good, you know? Like there was loads of like you pick up mushrooms and stuff, and they came really big, and they were like rotating around and stuff like that. That stuff takes time to get right, but that time needed to go into the you know making gravity not infinite, making the enemies stand out from one another, um, making it so you're not just full of faithing everywhere, and you can see ahead of yourself where you're going. It's a question of priority. Um, and that's what jams are usually about. Right? It's about how well you prioritize. And like here, you went full ham on the graphics and did a really good job, generally speaking. But that's all it is in the end, unfortunately. Like it gets a potential buff from like 2 to 2.5 because it's just like it wouldn't take much to make this a lot more fun to play. But I think that's what's frustrating about it. Theme, yep, you do go deeper and deeper. Um, although there's not really much of a progression there in deeper and deeper. I don't know, maybe there is when you get the chainsaw or whatever, but I didn't get to experience it, so that's how it be. Innovation, yeah, there was an attempt there with just like a unique way of controlling it and stuff like that. It didn't quite get the refinement it needed. The audio was good. Humor, unrated. Um, yeah, like the art is good and it conjures a nice ambience, but and the lava even looks cool as that's falling down on you, and it does. It's definitely urgent, but it's probably a bit too urgent, you know. Oh wow, my mic just went super red there. Maybe I need to turn this down a little bit. I'm a bit too loud. I'm never usually too loud. But my mic aux thing just went like full red for a second, and that's usually a bad sign. Maybe I just said that word particularly loudly. I don't know. Anyway, um, well, it's a 3. It's still like it's a solid effort. Um, solid effort. It's just critically flawed, you know, in those few ways. But it's still solidly put together. It's just so close. That's the thing. That's the issue with it. It's like there's little things. Speed a little bit more bearable. Let me see what's going on ahead of myself. Make the enemies stand out from one another just a little bit more. Make it just a little bit less urgent. You know, just a lot of these knobs just turn just a little bit too much in various different directions. But it's close. You just do a little shuffling around, and it'll be really good. Thank you for that one, Lousy Dev, wherever you have gone. Next up, priority, Rawdock Mock, are you here? Not, you're not getting the system, are you? It's real. Rawdock Mock, Rawdock Mock doesn't seem to be here. Andre Arpolari, Retro Jayhawks, Belonzik. Whoever is highest on the list and currently in chat gets their game played next. Andrea Polari. Looks like you're going next. This is good because I think normally I would just play the game and assume that people are in chat because we didn't really have as many, but people will just submit and then go. So I'm not gonna. We're skipping over them. You gotta be here. You gotta. We reward patience. We reward persistence. Too slow. Oh, and you're after him anyway, Retro House, but that's since Raw Doc Mock who didn't show up. Platformer Execute. Did we read anything about this? There's a hacking puzzle platform. Oh god. Oh, new submission just coming right in. A new hacking puzzle platform game where you have to program the platformers to complete the level. I don't know how computer's going to feel about something with these many symbols in its exe, but we'll see what goes on. Nothing happened. Doesn't seem to want to run. Requires a scan of this item. Can I? Oh, can I rename it? Is that gonna make it? Yeah, alright, but can it... Pro tip, don't put weird, stupid symbols like this in your exe names. Ah. Wait, what? I've never even seen this before. It's been 10 seconds. I don't even know how to bypass this. Andrew, any tips? Oh, okay, we got there in the end. We probably launched about 8 copies of it, yeah. Wolf okay. This is a demo version. The devils in this version may not be included in the final version. What am I gonna say? Go on, tell me that it's placeholder. What am I gonna say? What particular criticism am I gonna have? Well, this, 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 and this. So I guess that and that are the same. Okay. The art style is a bit inconsistent. It's not always a problem, it's not a universal rule, but it's a very good rule of thumb. Okay? To try and make things consistent. Don't combine pixel art with, especially not in the same image. Like, also you missed a pixel here, but like, don't combine pixel art, high resolution fonts in one thing, alright? Unless you're making Octopath Traveler, and even then, frankly, I think that game doesn't look very good. But unless you like are doing something with a very intentional mixing of things where you like it's designed and you thought about it. Don't blend all these different things together, and don't scale pixel art. If you're gonna do pixel art, don't scale it up. If it's gonna be bigger, you gotta draw it again bigger. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, it's just gonna blur, or if it's not gonna blur, it's gonna mixel with other things. And that's no bueno. Anyway, again, it's not about pixel art purity. It's about trying to make things look cohesive and look like they're not video game assets, but like you're creating a cohesive experience, you know? Anyway, let's not dwell on it. Let's not dwell on it. We're not gonna dwell on it. We're not gonna dwell on it. Fine. Right. I like the little fade in. It's cool. Options that it's just showing you. I like it. Was here enter jump? Oh, but also okay, it's probably gonna tell me in the game, right? Oh. Not sure how well it works that most of your options. I get what you're going for, kind of, but like the text just being off screen like that, it's a bit. It's also like jarring how the pixel art thing snaps into place but the text scrolls, but I guess it's all just very placeholder, whatever, right? Okay. Oh yeah, that was just a thing for that particular stream running time, but I'll consider bringing it back if it keeps coming up. I get you're trying to be all programmery, but make sure I understand what's going on. Okay, so now we've got a pixel art game. Which for the most part actually looks okay. It's okay. Whatever. We're just gonna have to live with it. Can't make the same point a million times. What have I done? We've selected this platform. Manual? Oh god. It keeps getting worse. Sorry, it's just really hard when it gets so jarringly worse like that to not bring it up. But come on. Left, this function performs an action on the... We've talked about the art now, we'll look at the game. Left, this function performs an action on the platform, making it move to the left. Okay. How do I do that? How do I... Okay. Right. Ask save. Right, so we can like... We're this guy and we're in this terminal, we can move this around, I can select these things. Done that, we've got a bunch of buttons. J, R to delete. Delete what? Nothing else does anything? E, preview. Left. Do I type it? How do I... 2 key? Oh, right. Okay. I thought it was telling me that I had 2 of them. It makes sense now, but like, again, this is the reason having a consistent art style is important. So I get what I get you can say like, well, it's not, it does kind of look like the other buttons, but it's way bigger, it's got a big... Alright, left. Okay. Okay. I like the nice long... Probably do with a bit more height, but like... How did I get on top of that, actually? I don't feel like I jump high enough anymore. Oh, I climbed, of course. Okay, continue. So that's the thing, if these were like if this were presented in the same way as like these are, where you've got like a box and a thing on it, then maybe like, you know, it's a bit easier to get, right? Because these are like things with buttons, and then it's just like these are like in a totally different style of box, and they don't even quite fit in the boxes. It's like, how do I feel about that transition? I know that says okay. All right, I'm gonna bring it up again. I'm gonna bring it up again. Because this is a good example, right? So we're gonna do the speech here, okay? Because this is a great example. This star field that we're looking at here, right? I presume that's what this is meant to be. We're like looking out the window into space, like shining on the window, right? That's what this is. We're looking out into space. And yeah, as Mookie says, that joke only works here because of the Mixels, right? So stars are made out of boxes, guys, right? And that's how you feel looking at this. And it's like, well, no, it's pixel art. You drew pixels. No, because for it to be pixel art, the pixels have to be the same size. Because if they're not the same size, then it doesn't trick my brain anymore into thinking that I'm just looking at this artwork through like a low resolution filter, and that actually there is more detail there than there actually is, and causes my brain to fill in the gaps and be like, okay, it looks like it's just a little cross, but like I know that that's a star, like shining with like light and so on. It's just that the detail is reduced in the lens at which I'm seeing it. That doesn't work when there is a thing right next to it that's way bigger and has like big ass blocks in it, because like, well, no, because that one would look the same as. No, okay, it's just the stars look like that. There's big blocks. That's why you don't want to mix pixel sizes when you're doing pixel art, or just generally for that matter, but especially with pixel art. As I said, there's loads of exceptions, but this ain't one of them. All right, and then up. I don't need to preview it. We know what's gonna happen. I'm guessing maybe it's like it's built the idea that it gets a lot more complicated later. So is there stuff down here? Hang on. No. Oh, that's a lot of pixels in that explosion. When you want to draw it, you got to draw it at the same pixel size, and then when. How are you supposed to make all your pixels the same size when you don't make your art in Game Maker? Yeah, you make them to a literal size. You make something that I don't even know how to answer that. Because I'm not wholly sure I know what you mean. You draw them at a specific size. You know, I can choose some sizes. You know, let's like we put the grid lines on or whatever, so we can actually see like a pixel. Like I could draw pixel art at like a 1:1 size, right? Like 1:1 lines, something like that. This isn't a great example because the brush tool is like doing anti-aliasing. Or I could draw them at like. Oh, this is a terrible example. Hang on. Like you could draw them 1:1 like this. It's 1 pixel. Or You could scale out to double, draw your pixels like this. But then that's where you got to be careful that you don't do anything like this in between, right? Simple. You just, yeah, I don't know how else to answer that. You just, you do. And you might, one part of that question might be about like, how do you make, what do I do if I've drawn something and it's too small? Like I've drawn this shape, and then I've drawn this. Let's do. I've drawn this shape, but then when I put them in the game, we've got these together. I'm like, oh no! Like this is meant to be like twice the size of that. Oh, I know what I'll do. We'll scale it up. There we go. Now it's way bigger. See? Fixed it. No, that's what you can't do. You've just got to draw it again. If you got it wrong, and you drew it like that, but it was meant to be twice as big, you got to go in there and you got to be like, okay, we got to draw it again, but bigger. So that it's right. You can't scale. That's all. How do you do it if you can't? You just draw it again. Anyway. Okay, that's already where it should be. Like, remembered it from last time. Like, generally speaking, the art here is quite good as well. Like the... Okay, no, those are bigger, but there's those... They looked like they were matching. They're at least close enough that it looked like kind of close, but no, yeah, the actual art of the character is actually bigger than this. But at least it's close enough that to the untrained eye, it looks like it matches. Like, you just pick one scale and you stick with it, you know? Vectorize still, nah, Vectorize is tricky as well. The main thing a lot of people get wrong with Vectorize is outline sizes. Okay, so what's going on here? Right. Oh, let's see what, yeah, because I'm curious to know what, oh no, wrong way. No, and interact. And to select left. Is it going to stop at that dot one there? We do left, left. Oh, left. Preview, left. Left. Okay. It is nice how there's a bunch of like these simpler levels that like you kind of aren't really super challenging, but in theory, I suppose if you're going to doing complicated things, you kind of need to get really used to how all this works. Down, left. And I think we're just going to leave it at that. You can kind of hear them going on. Kind of a leap of faith there. I just had to hope that I was in the right place. But it's alright. It's I have my own leap of faith that I designed myself. Could you guys 8 out of 4? What? Oh, is that like below par for how many we needed or something? Is that the idea of this game? I don't know if I like that big white blocks everywhere effect. At least there was like, I don't know, attempts at transitions are better than not at all, maybe? I don't know actually. Left, left, down? Left, down, left. There's nothing wrong with any of the art in general, by the way. Like, each individual piece of art is drawn quite well. Like, you know, the drawing itself is good. And this is often the case. It's just things not mixing together. Oh man, can we make that? Is that a jump buffer? We got a jump buffer? Nice. bodied. You need to do anything. 0. That's quite a big jump buffer. That's like Braid levels of jump buffer there, like. It's good. Good for this kind of game as well. So I guess this is the game, right? It's trying to figure out how few things we can do each thing in. I feel like maybe you could, like, because there's a climb involved, that looks like you can, like, almost make it. But I don't think you can. Alright, we can, like, move it again. Left. Down? Is that like a restart as well? I don't know. What if you... I suppose it doesn't matter. You can always put things back, right? I suppose the real challenge will be doing things as like it's moving. I suppose we just kind of have to do this one the boring way. Nope. What? Open there. Like, we can open the manual to be like... So I was, well, yeah, I kind of gathered that after I learned what left did, you know? I don't think I need a manual entry for each direction. Oh, what? Did I fall a little bit or something? Very Portal-inspired doors, it feels like. Big zoom out. I highly encourage a different art style if you want to do lots of arbitrary zooms as well, but it's probably a bit late now. Loop? Oh, I see. Oh, it's not looping though. And also we need to bring this one down, I guess. We might be able to coyote time our way to that, but it looks quite far away. Does that just not do anything? Does loop? Oh, right. Do we have to, like, do it first? Yeah, I was thinking that, but... Oh, yeah, of course, sorry. I misunderstood. Now that I've read the manual, it's a lot clearer. It's so much... I understand now. I understand exactly everything about this mechanic now. Because it's told me very, very clearly all the extra information I definitely needed to know in the manual. My mistake. The one time something behaved in a slightly like anti-intuitive way that actually kind of required the manual was useless. It's not that big a deal. It's like, it's fairly, like, honestly, the manual is not that necessary. It's like fairly intuitive, you know, like, honestly, it's the biggest issue is in the first place just interacting with this and not really being sure how, like, we were interacting. I'd like play around until this moved. I was like, okay, that's how that moves. That comes up. That's helpful. These are all helpful, but then just these things, it wasn't clear that you pressed those buttons on the keyboard to do those things. This UI in general, in fact, just its general way of interacting with stuff isn't the cleanest or whatever. You know, it feels very fidgety to do all this stuff and set all these things to be what they are. It feels like something like you might want to rework or something like, I don't know, you drag commands over the things or things like something, I don't know, just something a bit more intuitive than what we have here, like having to select each thing, bring up a thing. We can, I don't know, the preview is necessary. It's almost built like as a tool for doing like a huge number of different, much more stuff on the screen than there actually is. I don't know, more complex things than there actually is. It's not very, it's hard, because I don't really have the specific terminology for this. I've just not made a lot of games like this, so I don't have the vocab, the design vocab for this. I can only really kind of explain my vague feelings about it. But yeah, it doesn't have that. It doesn't feel very player friendly. Up. No. Yeah, because I mean, at this point, you're getting to the point where you're kind of making this game behave a little bit like Opus Magnum. That's worth a look in general, just like how that game works. And the joy of making machines in games and seeing them. I mean, it's a different type of game for sure, but like, it's worth studying this guy's games in general and this kind of thing if you're really into this sort of like making little machines that do things based on instructions. God, this game is sick. You like build a chain of instructions for each thing. You can see that, oh, that one's number 1. We've got 1 down here, and we build these. And we can also hold these buttons to like press and do them really quickly. God, so good. You know, it actually doesn't. Well, I don't know that it gets hard quick. It gets time-consuming quick, and then, like, it depends how serious you take it, of just like, oh, I really need to crush all my friends on the leaderboards. Or, I just want to finish the puzzle. And some of the later ones, I got to the point where I was just like, I just want to finish the puzzle. But then I would finish the puzzle, and see the scores, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta go back. And if you just focus on the puzzle and just do it in the most arbitrary, flung together, inefficient way possible, you can pretty much just smash your way through most of it. But the joy is in then going back and making it like symmetrical and like look all nice and go really fast and stuff like that. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of them. I don't know. I could easily pick out stood out the most. I mean, it would depend on in what field, particularly. You know, like interesting design or like, well, I don't know what. Anyway, I think I've seen enough of this. I think we'll get the idea. Art is a problem, but you just want to pick one style, stick to it, try and keep everything as coherent as possible. Honestly, I think you have a good eye for each individual thing. Like, it's just when it just needs cohesion, you know? And sometimes within the same piece of art, that's the worst thing. Like when you got the stars that are literally in the same thing, like being bigger than one another, when you got text in a pixel art button, you know? Pick a style, pick a resolution, stick to it, and I think that game will look really nice then if you do that. I can't give you the answers on how to make the UI better, but it did feel kind of clunky. That's just my experience as a player rather than a game designer. It's just me saying, you know, as the tester, it feels a bit clunky. You do whatever you will with that information. My feedback isn't necessarily, you know, a voice from on high telling you how things should be done. The concept is okay. I've seen it done. It's another one of those concepts I've seen done a lot and never really gelled with myself. But I love games like Opus Magnum, where the joy, the internal logic of it is the joy is in finding, is in efficiency and cool looking loops and satisfying looking behaviors. You know, like Tetris, it's got that Tetris joy about it, that euphoria of order or whatever it is. You know, like things slotting together and feeling right. That's generally, if that's the goal of these kind of games when they're doing instruction based things, that tends to be when I think this concept works best. But I don't know. There might be 101 ways to look at it. Hey, Malkaru with the rating party of 2. Thank you very much. Welcome, both of you. If that's how you want on the game feel, then definitely look at not just Opus Magnum, but the guy who made it. Look at all his games. They're all a bit like that. And also probably make it not a platform at that point, because then platformers I don't think gel well with that concept necessarily, unless they're put in a very. You could do that, but it require doing it very differently to how you do normal platformers, and it might be a bit difficult. Anyway, best of luck with that one. That's cool, interesting. Thank you for the submission. I hope anything I said was even vaguely helpful or interesting. That's really the goal. It's just tell you something you. I don't know. It's the goal is for you to find the whole experience helpful in some way, however it be. Anyway, that was a priority game. So now we're doing a raffle. Not you have to wait, Atrial Junior. You have to wait. Be patient. We wait for the message. We start a giveaway. Any second now. There we go. There. Now you can use join. He's not gonna get it, is he? He's gonna miss this. He's gonna miss it. Oh no, there he is. He's in. Got a 1 in 6 chance right now. So if you have submitted a game, make sure you have submitted a game. If you enter this and you haven't submitted a game, well then that's just going to be a little bit embarrassing. Thrax Media, I don't see you on this list. If you haven't submitted a game, you don't get anything out of the raffle other than shame. I like the raffle, man. I like it so much. It's both like it adds so much fairness and so on, and like niceness to just the process in general, but also it's just fun. You know, it's fun. Seeing who wins the random raffle. Ooh, do make it right at the end there. Sniped in just at the last second. Oh, if he wins, that's going to be quite the snipe. Nope, Jawson 3. Can I get a shame in addition to your game being played? No, you just get your game being played. Unfortunately, you don't get any shame. Sorry. Short description. Love your stream. Fair enough. Deep within. The premise. Louis is stuck on the newly colonized planet Ananke 4 and is in deep, deep debt. It seems he'll be trying to pay it back for the rest of his life until one day when he finds a mysterious ancient alien ruin with poisonous gas, alien monsters, and riches inside. How to play with the guns. Bang bang. How to play. Pay off your 150 credit debt by collecting and selling alien scrap. Venture out into the ruin. Right, so we have 150 credits of debt. We got to pay it off by finding scrap. Venture out into the ruin to find scrap. Got it. And then bring it back before you're killed by poisonous gas or an alien monster. If you die, the bill to revive you will be enormous. Gosh. We got a trailer. We got well, not a trailer. Gameplay video. We got screenshots. Untitled Studios. You don't get shame if your game is really bad. You get shame when I decide you get shame. You get shame on a few conditions, right? You get shame if you submit multiple games to the list. You get shame if you enter the raffle, win the raffle, and haven't submitted a game to the list. You get shame if you are a stream regular who has watched this stream at least 7 or 8 times and still submits a game with really obvious graphical incohesion that you could very easily fix. And also for any number of other reasons that I haven't yet decided. Anyway, whose game was this again? This was Jawsome 3. Being within, we gotta get scrap, pay off our debt. Louis was an unremarkable man. Continue on my pressing a button, or we click. An indentured servant on a colonization ship to Ananke 4. He's since settled into a life of routine, forever trying to pay back insurmountable debt. That is, until the day he found it, the entrance to a strange alien ruin. Within, there were strange, hostile creatures. It's okay. It's okay. He kept those at bay with his trusty laser pistol. Normal and super shot. Okay. And there was a noxious gas that meant he couldn't stay down there for long. Oxygen runs out over time. Don't run out. It says before we die. Kind of doubling up on your tutorial there, but... Riches beyond compare. Heavy. This gets you tick. This gets you 2 ticks. The more little circles in your thing, the more ticks you get. If you get 4, you get a little happy face. It's wall paint, strikes me. I just don't really have that much use for it. Like, I can do it, like, whoa, or whatever, and then if I actually put something behind me, then yeah, that works, but for the most part, we just, like, I don't need it. I quite like my setup, so I don't really green screen a lot. I sometimes do it for videos. Okay. I was gonna say, that was starting to go on a bit long, but we got in it. Debt not out of 150. Well, debt paid off, I guess, not out of 150. Mysterious grey rectangle. 30 seconds of O2. F. Oh, well, we got 5 more debt because we died? Okay. Oh, wow, that's like... Super Shot looks like hard. There's a nice, satisfying, different sound effect to it, though. It's not like 1 frame timing? Maybe there's a bit of a buffer. It looks like the thing is only up for a frame. Oh, we're running out of O2. How do we get out again? Back here. Okay. We picked up a thing that gives us more O2 as well. I don't know what that was, but we did. Lighting is simple, but creates an atmosphere of sorts. The interpolated art here is a bit weird, but it is largely consistent. I think the walls are the weakest looking bit of it. getting green. I feel like I can go very far at the moment, but since that increases, we can get a bit further, right? I feel it's going to have a little bit of the same issue with every one of these London games I've played that's like, go a bit further, come back, go a bit further, come back, and that loop is fine at first, but quickly gets really tedious when you have to keep doing the beginning bit over and over. Most games I've played admittedly have then done something smart along the way that's like, oh, you get a checkpoint or something like that, because they've realized that, but we'll see if this does anything, and oh god, I'm about to die. Yikes. It's kind of tricky. You know, it's like, normally you'd use like the halfway mark, but like, it's because it's the way it's drawn, it like goes to the middle. It's like harder to tell where that, like, I think it's about now, right? So I kind of got to get this and get out. And assumably there's a bit of a buffer there with the time I spent fighting things. How aren't I? It's very dark. I kind of... There's a slight glare on my monitor maybe, but it's just like hard to see. It's like searching for my words there. It's like hard to... that thing where images enter your brain via see. Alright, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. God, we don't have a chance of getting back in time, do we? We're going to go all the way under here. No. At least I guess you don't... It's like there's like... It's interesting because there's like... I guess most games will just restart you, right? Whereas this actually just like kind of punish you a little bit for screwing up. But not so much that it's like a huge disincentive. It just means like, well, now it's going to take you longer to complete the game kind of thing, right? No, I like it actually. It's little. Which just adds that like little bit of extra meaning to failure, I guess. Without actually just feeling like a big deal. Okay, a little bit further. Picked a different direction because it just didn't feel like the time was quite adding up going to the right. What I wanted to do. I don't know if like those things are like lost forever, whether or not like they only don't respawn after I've like handed them in. Or if they're just gone. What is this weird giant... are you? I can't seem to shoot you. Oh, I'm risking time here. Oh, God. Oh, no, no, no! What? You just blocked the way I needed to go, alright? It's not like I could have even waited because I was going to run out of time if I waited. Savage. It didn't seem like I could hurt him either, or he just didn't have any feedback on it. Right, okay, so it seems like it's smart enough that, like, things respawn if you weren't able to hand them in. Actually, I'm not sure now, there's not a lot of things here. Yeah, it's just getting longer and longer to come back up here, making it harder and harder to judge, and just also kind of tedious to actually do. Like at some point soon, it feels like you want to create some sort of checkpoint. Yeah, you just can't hurt those. They just are. A big risk of shooting him. I shouldn't have stopped for that. Don't even know if I can get back this way. We're just trying anyway. Oh, is this the way back? I think it is. Oh god, I'm a bit lost. Oh, we just about made it. I like the effects here are good. I like that those do like a certain pitch, and then this is just the same sort of noise, but just a little bit pitched up. It's got a nice effect to it. It just feels nice. What's this rectangle about, though? I don't know what's a random rectangle. It's just like it's like your finishing touch on that that screen, just like and a rectangle right here. Yeah, that was true. I'm not really remembering much about the level design at all. It's just a very random maze. It all kind of looks the same, so... But at least, hopefully, the exit is just in the top left, so that's just, like, where I know to go. It feels like, optimally, I kind of want to play like this and just be, like, ultra safe. I hate these things. Yeah, that's really good. Like this screen was the best done part of the game by far. Oh, does he just get stuck in a wall or something? Ah, so much screen shaku. Oh, I did it. You know, I think we're gonna leave it there. We get the idea. I don't think I'm gonna make it all the way to that. So that's cool. Honestly, the loop is there. It's just the flaw in it is the walk back getting longer and longer makes it less and less fun. That's really kind of the only effect it has. It's like I know it's your mechanism by which you get to explore more of the world, but because it's just extending the length of each loop without filling that extended space of time with anything interesting, because you're just walking back through empty areas, it just gets slower and slower, more and more tedious, and harder to want to do the loop. Because the loop is fun, but I don't want to be too specific. Yes, oh, it's a quote on this stream now, but like the way people have generally approached this, because I've played quite a few of this type of thing in this Ludendare theme. People who approached it by either including teleports, like in certain areas that like warp you back to near the beginning, which is like it is okay, or getting new checkpoints that basically allow you to move the starting point a little bit further along. I feel like there's been other solutions to that. I can't remember what they are. Oh yeah, there was a diving game where you ran out of oxygen and they had like air bubbles like that you could reach so that you would go down on one long thing. But that still had the issue of like you actually needed to get back to the top in order to cash in all the upgrades and stuff you'd found, so it still didn't really help. It's tricky, but you need to do something. Because it does make it a big problem. The graphics are like very placeholder, but I think you actually do quite a lot with a little, especially in this bit with the things flying around and stuff. I think the audio makes it on that screen though, like the do 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 do. I think that just that brings that whole bit together. The movement combined with the audio here just makes this a really nice screen, despite looking, you know, visually ultra simple. Theme, yeah, kind of. I like the way the green creeps in. That's cool. It's a bit too dark, you know. That's like it's a good effort with it with the lighting and stuff like that, but it is just a bit too low light. All right though. Cool. What? It's on for 11 more days? I thought it usually lasts for 2 weeks. Going on for like 4 weeks or something? That's a long playing rate. I always thought it was like 2 weeks. We do, but well, it's just Feedback Friday in most cases. So we accept people give it, and if it's a limit, I will rate it, you know. But I'm using a different list. We're not using the week-long madness I did streaming LD games list. We're just doing a regular Feedback Friday, and we include submissions from Ludendare if you want to do them. All right. Thank you for that one, Joseph. Time well. How many games have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Next up's priority game. So, who is highest in this list? Who is here in chat? If Rawdokmok is here, it would be your turn. Retro Jayhawks is here, and he is not, then it would be their turn. Otherwise, it is Balonzic's turn. Oh, I have a timer on my stream deck now. I can just press this. It's 15-second countdown. Oh, Retro Jayhawks is here. Nailed it. Retro Jayhawks. It is. Trench Hounds is an atmospheric bullet hell where you command your hounds to sacrifice themselves so you may pass through safely. Ranked top 100 in creative, visual, audio, and overall criteria in the Bullet Hell Jam 2021. Delicate dance through hell on earth where bodies pile up and the bullets never stop. I'm really tired today, I don't know what it is. I just feel a bit zoned out now and again. Maybe I don't need to do too many. It's what, 4:30? We'll go to about 5, I think, today. I don't know. I think maybe I just didn't sleep very well. Delicate dance through hell on earth where bodies pile up and the bullets never stop. Command your army of trench hounds to push forward by carving a path with their bodies as meat fields through no man's land and an onslaught of enemy ordnance. Gosh, that's a lot of red sounding words. I don't know how else to put it. And just resources. Press enter to declare a war. With a little coffee on the table. Press E to view controls. E. Commanding 101, how to win. The rotation on this text has made it a little bit hard to read. Feel like you've rotated it, but then like you probably need to go in and clean it up. Worst command movement esque redeployment options. Okay. Ah. Pressed escape instead of backspace. I'm gonna close the game now. Anyway, I feel like declaring a war. Oh no, we were doing so well for consistency. And this cool looking doggo shows up, but scaled to double the pixel size. We were doing so well. I was like, oh, we got that, we got one. We got one that's just consistent. Good example. Oh, and the hand as well. Just redraw the hand! Whatever. I actually kind of forgive the hand. It has a certain aesthetic of that size. The hand's not a big deal. Right. Alright, oh, we got a doggo, and we're telling him to what? Oh. 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 How to... Do we just have to isolate a very specific... Oh, we only had 5. No. Redeployment. Oh, 1 yes, 2 return. So that's a bit weird how you've got like some options on the screen here, which I kind of presume is my only option, and then like up here it turns out there's options. Does that work? No. Do the bodies block bullets? Oh, they do. That's what we do. Oh! God damn it. Let's try this again. Man, this is just... Let's be real, they would not be alive still after taking that many bullets. And acting as a literal meat shield. Random extra like mortar shells as well. Oh, god damn. Well, going around that way was not a great idea. I'm actually pretty safe there. But now this is my last one. Ah! You kind of want your hitbox for a bullet hell as well. It's very like hard to suss out hitbox. That's a weird. Better if it were rats instead of dogs. Like, it'd be better if it was an animal I like less. What? Damn. It'd be alright if it was an animal I didn't really care about, you know? But dogs, oh, that's just mean. I don't kill humans either. I like humans. I don't kill anyone. That's not a get out. It's not like, oh, we all hate humans, right? No, I hate one. Humans are great. What's this? What am I doing now? What was that about? Could I do something there? Okay. We might be able to make it to there. Yeah. But we definitely can't make it all the way across to there. I'm assuming we have to get over there. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that you present options in the middle when you press escape like that, and also in the top left. You kind of want to do one or the other. Otherwise, it's very possible that people can think that that's the only options they have. Oh, cry! See that? It feels like that happens at very random times, and they can kind of get you. I'm not sure. I probably could have gone out of that, but like, feels like it has the potential at least to get you at times where Wool does otherwise. There's just bullets falling down. When in a game exclusively about picking the exact right time to move, having a thing that's like, you must move now, is mean. I'm not sure it's entirely fair. No, we could have just gone there and stopped. Oh, okay, that counted. No, it's not impossible, we just did it. I don't, what is this? Is this, can this do something? You're supposed to go to the little thing on the top right. It was clear enough because the first level did something. Is this, I don't know, is this some representation of the troops coming after us or something? I don't know. So I go up to there and it ends, I don't know. Oh no, that was grim. Wait, why was the dead body there? Did we bring him to the fire? That's gonna be a yikes from me. Don't know how loud this is. Hopefully not too loud. Go down. Don't really know what to do other than go at the earliest possible time because the body doesn't. Oh wait, we can do that. Okay, this one's getting a bit too loud. Yes. This concept is cool. The art is cool. Honestly, I don't even mind the inconsistencies and stuff that are on here. That's fine. That's it seems like there was at least a reason. Well, so it's on this background here. Why that been scaled up against this? But it wasn't here or anything, so that's okay. Sometimes the mortar thing is kind of cool and it appears at the right moment as like an encouragement to move, but like I don't think it gels well with a game that is mostly in its level design requiring you to move at a quite precise timing because it's adjusting, it's forcing you to move at a different timing that is possibly, you know, the capital W wrong timing. Which is, yeah. At least in its way it's implemented in the first couple of levels. Took a while to suss the slightly anti-intuitive fact that a dead dog on the floor would actually block a rain of bullets. Because I would kind of imagine the bullets going over them, so I have to I have to notice with my eyes that that's happening, which is a little, which you might think, well, that's easy enough to do, right? But like when there's so many bullets on the screen, it can be hard when you just glance at this to not think that the bullets are just everywhere. The main place you notice that they're not is here right away, right? Because it's a big empty space. Whereas these ones, it's kind of hard actually to visually see just like this space, like right away. So it's tricky to just intuit that, and it's not intuitive in the first place because you think body is just on the floor and also like doesn't actually provide all that much protection, would just get shredded by bullets very quickly, right? Um, it's hard to imagine that's providing as much protection as like one of these like tank buster things, right? Um, Hitboxes felt like they actually matched the shape of the dog, which I'm not sure is the best option here because the dog is very rectangular. It feels like the kind of game, like a bullet hell, where you might want to consider, at least consider, erring on the side of a smaller hurt box on the dog than what you have, allowing you to sneak past things and get away with stuff a little more. Not by a lot, but maybe just a little. Um, Sound effects are good. Like I said, they're mastered quite loud at this point with the mortars dropping and that with the plane thing, but the effects themselves are good. And the art is nice, and I don't really get what was going on with the little walkie hand, but it looked funny. Um, and it's yeah, I'm not sure I got it, but it was like well presented, whatever it was. I don't think the speech bubble things were necessary to get your point across. It almost kind of mocks it. Almost just feels like you would just be like, oh, the sad little doggy. Yeah. Like if it like almost weakens like the emotional through line of like these doggies getting murdered, seeing them pop up with little help me. Makes me bubbles when they'd be on the ground being absolutely shredded by bullets. They wouldn't be able to talk, right? Firstly, because dogs can't talk. And secondly, because they would be very dead. Um, those are my main criticisms, though. I think it's really good. Yeah, it was cool. That one well made for a week. That was good. Um, Maybe more space, but I don't know how I feel about that kind of game in general. Like what does it mean? Like, oh, let the player know what he's doing. What the player is doing is playing the game by your rule. Playing a game by the rules that you set. I never know how I feel about games that are just like, if you do the mechanics, you could feel bad. And it's like, well, you made the game and designed it. I'm just playing. It's like someone putting a gun in your hands and saying, shoot this guy. I'm like, why? Isn't it shoot this guy? Oh! And then you shoot him. And then you go, why did you shoot that guy? You should feel awful. That's what, like, morality games sometimes feel a bit like, It's just a bit like, they work. Anyway, moving on. Um, like a Mitchell one, maybe. It's raffle time, I think. If you have submitted a game It is on this list somewhere. You may now use !join to be in with a chance of having it played next. Thus guaranteeing it goes to someone who is actually here. Assuming they don't just immediately leave after joining the raffle. Were there any of those Lundara ones we forgot to rate? I think we've been doing them. It's many people's lucky day, depending how many raffles we do. Time's up. Bill Onzig, who would have probably been next anyway, has won the raffle. And all the raffles are like, oh. He said he skipped ahead one spot, but Rodok Mock's just been gone for ages, so like you'd have probably been next anyway. Loop break. AD, left right movement, space jump, double jump. Numpad switch to, oh no, 1 first, 2nd, 3rd, record. Oh, it's one of these. It's one of these. Looks cool. I feel like there's a degree of just like in response to the raffle to be had. I think whenever it's the person right at the top who wins, or when it's the person right at the bottom who wins. Like if someone has been waiting for ages and here it's like, oh, they would have been next anyway, and when someone comes in it's like, oh, they only just submitted. I think if I want to make any change to it, it would be to find a way to like increase the number of tickets you get per raffle you join. Did that download? Yes, it did. So like, you know, if you enter like 10 raffles in a row, you've got like a much higher chance of winning. I mean, you do anyway, just because you're rolling the dice more, but like, still. All these toggles, where is my toggle full screen? I'm gonna press Alt Enter and it's probably gonna do nothing and start that level. No, okay. Did neither of those things. Well, I did do nothing. I'm gonna guess it's space. Oh, we've almost kind of got a number 1 there. Oh, rip. So do we have? Is it just a? I don't know. How do I? Is it like a restart? I don't know. But try not to rely on the itch page to tell you how to play the game, though. Tutorials are important. Oh. Level 1 complete. Let's play level 1 again. Why is that the natural? Why does it not naturally send me to the... Oh. No, why am I number 2 now? Not how it worked before. Now I'm number 1 again. Okay. Oh, if we can kind of get over the top of the level? Oh, right, he's gonna do that. It's this. If I had, like, A penny for how many times I've done this in a video game. Go stand on the button with number 1 while number 2 goes through the door. Oh. That's good. Like I like this art style. It's very consistent. Oh, excuse me. This is what it looks like. To have something that just feel very cohesive. Even the squash and stretch is respecting the pixels, you know? God. There's a little awkwardness in just like the way I screw up, and it's like, well, now I can't seem to restart. I don't know if I can't instantly like swap between the things while I'm dead. Now I'm the second guy, but if I know I've already screwed myself by not really using the first guy very well, I don't really do anything with this guy now. I've just kind of gotta die. Oh, you can bounce off the body. Interesting. It's also one of those games. So yeah, there's gonna be a button standy on her again, right? But now again, like I gotta wait, right? I don't think there's anything I can pause. I tried pressing 1, 2, 3. Oh, numpad. Maybe that'll help out a little. No. Numlock on off. No, that didn't do anything. It's not really helping. Yeah, it is like if you want to do a consistent answer. That said, I have actually seen people go wrong with it because they do this and then they don't respect their resolution, and that's how you do it wrong. But yeah, black and white, respect your resolution, easy, very easy way to get it to work, and it looks really good. All right, now again, I'm just messing around because I'm talking a lot, but like it's hard to. Kind of just gotta wait it out. Now I've got number 1 again. I'll come stand on this. That's not gonna be enough. He's gonna have to stand on there for a bit. It's one of those. How do I swap back? Oh! Okay, that's a thing. But no, yeah, it told me on the itch page, kind of, but in a weird way, and it has to like be there for you to be able to swap to it. This needs tutorial of some kind. It like needs to bring these mechanics in. They're cool. That's a cool idea, you know. And loop break. Oh, I get it. Right, we're like smashing back into this timeline to change what happens now that we've done a thing here. That's quite a cool take on it. But you gotta tell me how it works. You know? I'm just fiddling around pressing buttons because something on here was like, oh, this does a thing, and eventually we crack it. But the game's gotta do it. Game's gotta do the work. It's gotta do the lifting. It's gonna be like, here's how you play. Here's how it's gonna work. And so much could have gone into it to make that a really cool moment. But as it stands, it's just a flat puzzle. And, yeah. I don't feel like I had a cool moment between me and you, the developer. I feel like eventually I stumbled into a cool solution. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. A whiteboard on the whole thing is a little confusing. Well, yeah, that's a full screen issue, right? Really, and I don't know, I don't really see that as a big deal. So now can I can swap. But is there a way that helps with the restarting thing? But not really, especially once you die. I can't even. So once I'm dead, I can't swap between anything either. What does this do? Anything? Stand on this button for a bit. So the original, before Click Team Fusion was Click Team Fusion, there was a thing called Click and Play. At least I think that's what eventually, because it became Macromedia Fusion and then Click Team Fusion maybe, I'm not sure the order of things there. But Click and Play was the very first thing I ever used to make video games with. And it was great. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the problem, the one thing. Because everything else here is great. Like a lot of time and love put into the detail of it. The feel is nice. Jumping is really good. Feels nice. If there's any criticism I have of the jumping stuff, it's that your double jump feels the same as the single jump, and it's a little bit hard to be like, have I used the double jump or did I just use the single jump on a jump buffer? Like, did I use a jump buffer there or did I use my double jump? A little bit hard to tell because they both do the same kind of like puff of smoke, or at least very similar, right? But a lot of platforms get that wrong anyway, so don't worry too much. God damn it. I can't swap back to 2 again. It's too. I don't know how it works. I don't know the rules. I know a control. Switch to first, second, third, ... recording. But I don't know the rules. I don't know how it works. I don't know when I can swap. I don't know how that will affect things. So all I can do is rely on the game to tell me that, and it's not doing that, which is a shame because it feels like it's got some really cool ideas. I don't really have the opportunity to explore them because I'm not working it out. Maybe some of that is me being stupid, but I don't think it all is, you know? I think there's a lot of work you could do to help people who are like me who are stupid. But yeah, it all feels really nice, and I say like the visuals of it are great, super cohesive, super clean. Shame you can't full screen it, but it is what it is. But it is critically flawed in that way that I don't know what the rules are. I was very lucky to stumble upon a way in which pressing them, because most of the time pressing these doesn't do anything. We just managed to stumble on where it was able to work, and that's where after 2 has come in, you can swap to 1, but only once. You know? It's not clear. It's an issue. But it's very cool. It's a cool game nonetheless. I would have loved to play more. Like it looked like there's some cool ideas going on. I would have liked to explore more of it, but the game didn't really give me the chance. Thank you, though. It was good. Icons based on how many times you get right. So I mean, it's just the fact that there is a rule based on how many times that dictates how many times you can swap. I need to know what that rule is. You know, like it's important. Don't fear text if you haven't worked anything else out. I know people are like, oh, I want to do the game and it's going to teach you the mechanics. And we're not going to use any text because text is like, ugh, gross text. Just put a signpost. Until you have a better idea, put a signpost in. You know, way better than not having anything. Don't be super elitist about your teaching. Just put a signpost in. Put a thing in. You read it. It says this is how it works. You know. Yeah, you eventually would like to do better than that. But until you know exactly what to do that's better than that, until you have an idea of what you're going to do that's better than that, just you can always take it out. Anyway. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Well, you just make them. You wouldn't give them a choice, Captain. They played 840. You'd put it in their path so they have to walk through it, and then when they walk through it, you put up a big thing that has text on it. They don't need to know how to read the signpost, you just make them read it. Make sure they can't jump over it or anything stupid. I mean, you don't even have to freeze control from them, just pop up info. If they run past info without reading it, then that's very much their own fault. If it was very clear that there is info here. To be fair, even if there's an interactive one, like, people are going to read that. And if they're not, then they should probably go read that. But there's probably things you could have done to incentivize them to read it. Otherwise, they would have probably just read it. All right, what was that? That was actually a raffle game. So it is 5 o'clock. We'll do one more of each. We'll do a raffle game. We'll do a priority game next, so Atrial Jr. finally gets his game played, and then we'll raffle off the last one out of everyone else who happens to be here, and then we're going to be done for today, I think. Starting to lose my voice, honestly. I did a lot of streaming last week, but like, don't know why today in particular. I feel like my voice is going. I feel like feel a bit tired and spacey, which is hard because then I'm trying to think hard about these games and think of useful, helpful things to say. It can be very difficult if I'm not thinking entirely straight. So we're gonna do 2 more, and then I'm gonna do something else. Etriel Jr., are you still here? First of all. Gets the timer. 15 seconds. And he's here. That's a good way to summon them, is to start the timer. You're here. So, which game are we playing? You get 1. You don't get 4 games. 1 here, you didn't even include the 1 on your name. Like, these are all Atrial Jr., and then there's Junior 1, and then this is Atrial Jr. No 1. Panama 1. All caps. Cool. So we'll lose these. You know what I might do? I might even just keep this a consistent list so you can come back next week or whatever. I think it's fair to wipe it because then, yeah, whatever. Yeah. No, yeah, we'll keep wiping them. Or at least maybe I could leave behind the ones that didn't get played as priority. That could be interesting. I'll think about that after the stream. Play all 4 ones. Panamwan, it means discovery in Javanese. This game portrays the relentless search for answers which can only be discovered in the depths of Panamwan's mind. This game contains an ending which is only seen when you do the action correctly. Few have found. Will you be one of them? Probably not. Your answer is in the sad phase. Do not fall into the hole. Flowers will give you the answer. Follow them. This game is a thematic concept of the Ludum Dare 48 theme. I hope you all have fun. Thanks. Javanese is a language spoken by the majority of the inhabitants of the island of Java and one of the official languages of Indonesia. I hope I'm saying that right. Person choices. Life takes me on a strange... Okay. Emotional puzzle. The thing is, I think I'm going to struggle with this just because of the language barrier a little bit, which is not necessarily your fault. But I think, like, it's going to have... Because if it's going to have English writing in it, and it's going to... I feel like it might lean on that a little. We'll see how much it does. But if it leans a lot on the writing, and that writing is, like, in English, but not by, like, a native or confident English speaker, it's obviously going to be an issue. For at least me playing it, you know? Tutorial, AD, move space, space jump. Or arrow keys. Yeah, I understand. Like, I'm saying, it's not necessarily your fault. But I'm just saying, if it does have a lot of text, it's gonna be a problem. Like, I'm not saying it's easy for you to fix that problem. but it'll be a problem, you know? And I don't mean that as a problem with the game on some sort of objective level. I just mean, not that there isn't one, but like, not that there is an objective level, I mean, but I don't know which way to go.
Como você é magra, eu não gosto de você.
5 exclamation marks. 2 down like symbols. Emojis. Was that it? No.
E assim começa a minha história. A vida.
Oh.
E assim começa a minha história.
So, any kind of transition when you die, anything that isn't that, anything that isn't just a snap, needs to have something, just a fade out, anything, and generally something that draws attention to whatever it was that killed you. So I don't know, maybe like a flash or a freeze or something that shows what exactly happened to me, so that I understand what I did wrong and how to avoid it next time, and I have a moment to process that before immediately being kicked back into the game.
E assim começa a minha história. A vida me leva por estranhos caminhos.
That is a big jump. Very pointy jump arc.
Estranhos olhares.
The art style is nice, but you know how someone said earlier, like, aha, if you want to find it easy to keep your art consistent, just do vector art. This is an example of how that's not the case. Because look at the size of the outlines on this big ghost thing. He drew it at one size, realized it needed to be bigger, so he stretched it, but then the outlines are way bigger and it ruins the illusion of the art. I can't take it seriously as a world anymore. They just look like game assets when things start to have different outlines and don't gel together, you know? This scene's alright when it's just like the background birth of the character, because you can kind of you can establish that as like a rule, where just like, oh, okay, the moving people have different outlines and so on. But when it's like a big monster like that, it doesn't work. Also, hexagons on a football. Strictly, that pattern on a football is actually strictly not possible. Did you know you can't make a sphere out of hexagons? Mathematically not possible to do. That's not a real criticism of the game, by the way, just an interesting factoid. I don't care that it's hexagons on the football.
Você está errado.
Uh-oh.
Volte para o que te faz feliz.
Not really following what's going on with the text, but as I say, it's going to be, I think, an issue. And I mean, these kind of games are hard enough. Like, they're hard to get what's going on, even if it's written by someone who speaks very good English and writes good English. It's hard to do this stuff well. Putting the fact that there's an extra barrier on top of that means I'm just so unlikely to follow. Like, when it's so wrapped in metaphor and is like layers and it's like, you know what I mean? It's hard to. I'm just seeing words, you know? Oh, now I'm what?
Diferentes pensamentos.
Yeah, exactly. Hexagons and pentagons. Because it has to be. You can't make a sphere out of just hexagons. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is this bugged?
Posso acreditar
The camera is like hugging way too high for me to see the ground a lot of the time here. I don't think there was anything wrong with the language so far, grammatically or otherwise. Sure about that? I don't hold it against them. You know, they're not a native English speaker. It's hard, but it's also just gonna make, even when they write it well, it's like the choice of words is gonna be odd and confusing, and these games are already hard enough to make those sorts of things work. Meaning, I mean, I know I'm kind of just throwing up problems without much in the way of solutions there, but like, it feels like most of this is like a weird story of a girl being like cyberbullied or something. The visuals are doing better to communicate than the text is, and obviously I don't know what the voice lines are saying.
Volte para o que te
Oh yeah, don't fall in the hole, he said, or something. I don't know. I'm not...
Como ser aceito em mundo feito por likes.
Made by likes. Okay, yeah, definitely getting the cyber vibes, but
Como saber o caminho a seguir.
it's just like a loop.
Como você é magra? Eu não gosto de você.
Yeah, you can say that as much as you want. Your answer is in the sad phase, don't fall into the hole, flowers will give you... it's not gonna help. Is the game actually on a loop or not? I'm not sure because... Oh no, now it's doing... Oh wait, we can actually move... Yeah, that's... It's probably not meant to be like this, is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's definitely just playing on a loop, right? I'm just saying it's naturally, it's a consequence of just, you know, if you're going to give this to someone who's an English speaker. The problem is that, like, for me, I'm not really going to be able to follow it super well. It might work, honestly, better just keeping it in your native language for people who can speak that language, but, like, or you need to, like, bring someone on the team who can write better in this language. It's hard, you know, it's be how it be, you know? Follow the flowers? I don't understand. No. Oh, there's a flower that spawns right on the edge of the screen. It's very hard to notice, and there's nothing that implies in the game that I should do them. Not trying to complete this mission and in some way understanding that life is made of choices. We should always stick to the good things, and we don't always need to move on to reach rock bottom. I kind of get it. Next oh, oh. Oh. I like the art. I like the art. There's always the issue with the big. You didn't want to just scale your big monster up. Mostly, you don't really ever get to see much of him anyway. Like, get to see half of it, and like, I feel like there was a bunch of drawing in there that just wasn't visible. So you want to like just draw him at the correct size that you want, whatever he is. If it turns out you drew him at one size and that's not big enough, you got to draw it again. Otherwise, the outlines are gonna not match. Most vector tools will allow you to do that. Like if you do this in like Flash or something like that, then you can probably actually just scale it up and then change the size of the thing so that it works. You can just edit the lines themselves because it's vectors. It's made of lines, so you can probably just select those lines and change them so they fit. So probably not even as much work as scaling something in pixel art. Right, but those things don't work. Like, if you tell me, oh, you're going back, you explain how it is and explain what I have to do and explain why it works, then it doesn't work, does it? Like, there's no point making a game that's a metaphor or that's like communicating something in a fancy way if you communicate it better just by saying the word. Otherwise, what was the game for? You could have just said the thing. The idea with communicating something via a metaphor in games is that something about the experience of playing a game says something that you can't communicate with words. And like, I see something in this where you're trying to suggest that, like, because it's the game and because I'm just always moving to the right all the time or whatever, I'm not considering the possibility that maybe I could move to the left or something and have it right. I can see that in it as a thing, and that's all right, but it's just not executed in the best way because one, I'm very unlikely to notice it. Took you here copy and pasting the same line about follow the flowers, do not fall in hole for me to like work out what it wanted from me. Well, if you hadn't been there to say that, like I would have just been like, oh, okay, and it just goes in a loop. That's kind of weird, and I would have moved on. I'm just not going to see it, and if I'm not going to see it, then your message isn't going to come across, is it? So that's what it is. But yeah, a tricky one. I respect what it is sort of trying to do. I just don't think it's like super well executed, and I think it leaves too much to the player that then they're just not going to stand a chance of working out. And then tries to explain its whole meaning at the end with just with a paragraph of text, which is like, well, if you needed all that text, then like the game should be delivering the feeling through playing it, right? Not just be like, thank you for playing, this is what it meant. Like what it meant is what it felt for me playing it. Anyway. That's very interesting thing to play. Like, it's nice to see someone trying to do different interesting things. And I like the style of just going for two colors. Again, like that's a simple thing to get right. You just got to make sure you keep things a consistent like height, and shape, and you just keep your lines the same size. And then the art itself is very, very good. I really like the drawings of the girl and just all the things in the game were drawn very well. The actual experience of playing felt really slow, but I think the pace was just like okay. I think if it went any slower than that, it would probably be a bit much. It is an interesting take on deep. I like the fact that it loops. Like it just loops around, and it becomes a little unobvious that it has looped at first, but it is just looping. In the end, I think if you draw a bit more attention to what the thing is that you have to do different. I don't know. Because there's only one part of it where you can do anything different, and there's quite a lot of big loop around that. Feels like the loop itself could be shorter. But the concept is very cool. Putting something in a loop and then you got to do something to kind of break out of that loop. This would work well for the stuck in a loop theme as well as deeper and deeper, right? I would give this a 4 or above if like it weren't for just bits like this that just like are scaled weirdly and stretched in ways that just don't glue together with the rest of it. It's very close. I'd easily go higher than 3 if we were like if I felt like most people were gonna see the ending thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe most people did. I can't read a lot of this. No, lots of people. Wow, how many? You got a lot of. You rated 120 games? Christ. Like, I felt like I've done a lot, and I've done like 40 or something like that. You play all that? You play 120 games? 120 games? Alright. Thanks for that. It's interesting. This hurts my head a little, but it's interesting. It's true. Alright. We're going to raffle off one more game. One more. So if you have a game submitted, when the thing says, yeah, there you go. Do the thing. Thanks for submitting it, Adriel. Hope I didn't seem too critical. I was just trying to think of a way to explain how I thought the execution was lacking and how to do it better, but it is a really tricky one. I don't know that I have all the answers for you. But it was cool, interesting to see. Oh, Raw Dog Mark, you're back now? You could have been like, you could have had your game played ages ago if you were here. Final lucky winner is Aripum. That person. The last game of the day. Daddy Suck got here as well. He's been trying to get that game played for ages. How deep is your love? How deep? Wait, it doesn't. Wait, it's not a sentence. What? How deep would you go to save your love? Going against the rules of the underworld. Baffy fell in love for a human, which ultimately led to her soul being reaped by the god of death and imprisoned in the depths of hell. Standard. Lead the hopeless transgressor through the ways of the underworld to rescue his love. Okay. Looks cool. Scan lines. Never know how I feel about scan lines. You know, the first game I've seen that I thought did scan lines really well was that Loop Hero thing. Deep into what? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is some serious. This is some serious write-up. Which version do you want me to play? Do you want me, if you want me to rate it, I'll play the jam version. If you want me to just play it, like, then I'll just play it, but I won't rate it. But I'll play either one, depending on what you think would be more useful to you. Rate, please. Jam it is. Alright. I didn't read anything else on here, but we have a whole page on game design. If you had time to write a whole page on game design, then the game should tell me how to play it. So, a lot of stuff down here, but I'm going to assume I don't need to read any of it. Is this a browser thing? The text here? I'm looking at the rest of it. This can't be intentional, right? Everything else looks too good. Is there something going on with this text? I don't know, maybe it's just a bug. I'm going to assume that's just not meant to look like that. Fix it right, okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. I was confused for a moment as well. I'm seeing like, Deep is Your Love? I thought it was called Hell Deep is Your... Oh! And then I see it. And then if I look over at OBS, actually I could see it way clearer when I'm like zoomed out. Or looking at it from far away, like, ah yeah, I get it. But when I'm quite up close and it's full screen, that hell, it just looks like level bits. I just don't see the text. Probably because it's just, yeah, the vertical bits of the ladders and so on. It is 40, but I think most of the rest of it scales okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about scan lines. I think they look okay though. They're just, it's consistently applied in one size. I kind of wish it was like exactly half a pixel rather than like, it's like, I don't know, it's a weird odd size. But that might just be because of, I don't know. Let's jump for Z and K. So it's just move and jump. Alright, up. What am I doing? Okay, play. No, space is not playing. Enter? Okay. Space is like my only meaningful control, but enter is what does the menu. That's taken my beloved Elizabeth's soul. I need to find her. Down here somewhere. This text is fine, by the way, before anyone is like... You can see there's... Ooh, that's the thing. Medusa heads it would be, wouldn't it? Like, you can see there's a thought behind it. And like, even the Medusa heads aren't like, whoa! Okay. They really went all out on the you need a death transition thing, right? Good. It's a little jarring though because it just snaps like that. I might be looking somewhere else or something, or it's a little bit tricky because also it doesn't always do. Oh no, it turned me to stone and that's how I died, right? Because it's such a snap. Like I just want to die again, just to be like. Especially when you go off the screen like that, and then it's like zooming the screen to somewhere that wasn't even on the screen. It's a little bit like... just a little bit of a whiplash. Pressing space. Oh, right. Does that like help me break out of it? Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that transition. I like the idea. I like the idea of it a lot. Okay, just climb down that ladder. I'm kind of gonna like get under and... Music's good. The progression of it's nice as well. The music. Yeah, it's my own fault. It's just like getting used to that idea of like I knew there was a platform down there, so I'm just like, oh, I can just fall into this, right? Oh no, 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 yeah, you can't actually go below the camera. Ah, come on! Oh, it's because I hit twice. It's kinda, if you get hit by one, you just kind of get locked, right? I feel like they may as well kill you. I get that thematically it's like, oh, they're Medusa heads, they turn you to stone. I feel like they may as well just kind of kill you. No scaling effect on there, or is it? No, it's just because it's moving. It just kind of looks that way. That was tricky because I didn't want to jump in case I jumped off the top of the screen. And every time right at the back, right, start again. It's got kind of like Castlevania vibes about it though. Like the choice of Revolution. Or, you know, Art Resolution. Man. Now I'm glad they don't kill you. It's just because there's loads of them. Tricky moment. I mean, I've kind of been trained to not want to fall off the bottom of the screen. But I feel like this part is asking me to fall off the bottom of the screen. Which is a bit of a... what we might call a D move. Gosh darn it. At least do I now restart? Oh, yeah, okay. We've made some progress. Oh, okay. This game hadn't started scrolling. Yeah, I know, what else would you do there, but like, I thought maybe I should wait. Like, maybe some boss fight was going to appear or something, you know? Like, it felt like something might happen. So I was kind of just hanging around until it eventually becomes clear. Like, yeah, it does eventually become clear. Like, there's nothing else going on. There's nothing else to do. But it doesn't matter what the queue is, Hula Moises. This is our last game of the day. God damn it! Right, and this is the way we get through these now. Ugh. You'll die using that. Well, that's the only thing I've done that gives me any feedback. Use left, right? Oh, just pressing anything does it? Right. I mean, I was never told any of this. So I'm not going to experiment if I found a solution. This is the key thing. This is something I kind of learned with Pokepoke, actually, with like the left mouse and the right mouse doing those two different abilities, like when I did the Jam version and you had them both at the start. Because like once a player finds one, and like it becomes kind of a solution to most of their problems, they're not going to look for the other. Unless they've been given an explicit reason to. Like, players don't experiment unless they have a particular reason to. And like, this was like working, and just because it's not working very well, that doesn't mean me to assume that there must be a better way. Ugh. God dang it. Slippy. Yeah, that'd be terrible, non-fire. Unless, of course, that was the general intent of the game design. And, you know, they were trying to make something that, gave you a distinct sense of joy through having actually gotten performatively better at thing, and, repeating it was fairly quick. And absolutely everything around the game was minimized to the point where that process of getting better was the only thing that really existed in the whole game itself. Then I would say that game developer is actually a genius who we should all subscribe to on Twitch. Oh, God damn it, that bit is me. Oh, I survived! Didn't even realize. Oh no. God, no. For some reason I thought that platform would go further than it did. Come on. The reason why this game for me would, like, because I know that can feel unfair for me to be saying that, like, oh yeah, my game, it's fine when you don't have checkpoints, but this game, oh, it's a good thing it had checkpoints. Is the thing about it is, like, in my game, the idea is you discover new areas and stuff, and you like you push yourself that little bit further to see something a little bit cooler. This is a bit less like that in a way, because it's mostly the same sort of thing, just happening again over a long length of time. But I'm not like discovering some big exciting new thing when I get through the area to the next one, you know? And it's not like there's like a moment where I'm like drinking in the satisfaction of getting like deeper, other than the fact that it's giving me a new checkpoint. The fact that it's giving me that gives me something meaningful to latch onto as like, that's the progress I've made. thought the depth is just much faster, you know, right? Like, doing one of those areas is probably like an entire playthrough of depth, right? This is the last game, yeah. I did explicitly say that to you a second ago when you were asking about the key. Nah. I mean, I read the orange thing as a platform mostly because of its shape, right? I agree, as I can see where people are coming from for sure. I was personally fine with it, but it was just like, shape. Like, what else is it gonna be? Oh my god, fast moving platform is mean. Wiggle. Oh my god. Alright. It's like a little bit just a tiny bit slippery. Got a bit of that like Mario slipperiness. No. When the bottom kills you because the idea is you fell too far, it's weird that like getting on a platform that falls below it kills you. It's just one of those like game logic things, but it's like it's hard on the brain. Coming back up. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of tight, that. It doesn't look like something that should be a challenge, so it's like just weird when it like is. There's actually like a weird tightness about it. Patience is so okay, but it's also like you miss your window. Like you have a window. If you're too patient, you just miss it. Oh, come on! I just like screwed up the jump or something and get over a buffer, or I don't know what happened. But it sort of looked like you did like a little mini jump, but then just flailed into the like. I'm gonna sit through this again. I'm gonna wait. Up we come. I don't know. It's a tricky one with the camera speed, actually. Oh. Well, this feels okay. I don't think it's that bad. Come on. Oh, I swear to God, if that made me hit there. Okay. Oh, orange. Yeah, this is what I was waiting for. Bit of change. Bit of me just running off the edge. We've got like 2 ways we can go. That's interesting. Ah, come on. Both of them are really mean. Let's go this way. Music is good. Kind of wish it was still. Well, it probably is progressing a bit, but like, I feel like I've not got as much of a sense of progression in the music as I did from like sort of early in the first level through to a bit later in the first level. There was a very clear like. change. Did it need to be like ice? Maybe it did. It do be hell. Did it do that fast? That is a small frame with that's just mean. That is unnecessary. See, I totally dig that kind of thing, and my game did plenty of nonsense like that. But like, you gotta get that vibe in early. I don't think this got that vibe in early enough, and now it starts to just feel like you're being a bit mean. You gotta make that deal with the player early on and say, hey, this game's gonna have some nonsense. And I go, aye, okay. And then I'm ready for it and I'm here for it. I've signed the contract, you know. And then I'm here for it. Do whatever you want. But if you do that on like your 4th level or whatever after I've been playing for ages and I've been working hard to get really far, I'm kind of just gonna say, come on! Shouldn't taunt them. Okay, you are just about. Gamekin has a little trolling as a treat. Most streamed LD push? I don't know, man. You seen that? What was it, that game with the dragon and the horny dragon and the big sword? That one's been played a lot. It's kind of one issue I have with the rating system in Legendary. It's like, why am I going this way? This is the horrible way. The horny dragon, yeah, man. Like, it's I can't remember what it's called. It's like the deepest sword or something. So it's like you have to go plunge your sword into a dragon, and the dragon keeps making like, oh, your sword's not very big, and it's all a big penis joke. And then your like sword gets bigger and stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but it's been played like by everyone. It's got like, I don't know, 2 billion ratings. I don't really know how you fix that with the rating system of just games that get popular, like snowballing. Like, it's an advantage I have as like a streamer who makes a game. Like, I don't have to like. A lot of people seem to get like a kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. You rate 40 games, you'll get 40 ratings, but I probably would have got 60 ratings or so without playing anything. Yeah. And I remember looking at that game with the horny dragon or whatever, and they hadn't rated like any games, which is like, yeah, well, a lot of people just don't get time, whatever, it's fine. But it's like, it's contrary to the idea that, you know, get more ratings by rating more games and so on, if some people just don't have to because their game is popular or they got streamed or whatever, you know. I suppose there's something to be said that, like, if the game is popular, then I guess that's, you know, I guess in some level it deserves the ratings, right? I don't know, but not every game can mobilize the audience, you know? I don't know if you still have to have made a game to rate games or not. I don't really know how it works, Joel. That was always how I assumed it was, and I'm pretty sure that's how it used to be when I first started taking part. But I don't know, it's not entirely clear. Nowhere really like specified. By the way, like, I don't think I rated, like, Tribal Tension. I don't think I rated a single game. I just didn't have time. And so, by all means, like, I should probably have been disqualified or whatever. I didn't just, yeah, like, I shouldn't have gotten to 20 ratings. But I got, like, I came, like, 4th in one category, you know? Just because it was really popular. It was on Twitch, and loads of people were, like, watching and playing it, so... I felt a little bit like, don't know if I deserved this. You can comment, yeah. That's interesting then. That's maybe a somewhat of a limiting factor. Man, that's a bit hard. Somewhat of a limiting factor because, but there's also the thing with like it as well. Like itch.io, like when Ludendara was going on, was recommending popular Ludendara games, and that game just kept coming up in there like over and over and over. So games that have ratings are gonna get more, you know, if people are searching via itch for stuff. You can't count to me. Cool, I'm glad to know it's still working on that. It doesn't, but they probably are. Like, just the way popular things work. Especially with it's honestly, it's not necessarily an issue of just games being popular, but like, honestly, it tends to be the biggest issue, I think, for people who are streamers. You know? Basically, people like me have an advantage, I think. Because we have fans, you know? We have people who just like the stuff we do, and like it'll probably take a barge and be like, "Raj, Sean's game, all 5s," and so on. You know, I reckon I can't in good faith say that hasn't. I feel there's definitely been some effect on my scores that have like weighted the average higher than I feel like maybe it should be, based on just the fact that I'm a streamer who can sometimes get an audience, you know. It's a tricky one. Anyway, we've gone really distracted talking about Ludendara and stuff, and we've just been stuck on the same bit for about, like, I don't know, 5 minutes now. So I'm gonna give this a couple more attempts. I can't quite work out what it wants me to do here. So it's that bullet that's just gonna be there. See, it's changed tone dramatically now. It's become like aggressively hard. In the beginning, was just nothing like this. I don't know that that works. Like, I happen to be like this kind of game, and honestly, this part of the game is more for me than the beginning was. But it won't be for everyone, and like, a lot of people will just be like, okay, this has gotten really hard, and we'll just kind of quit here. For me, this is where it got more interesting, but then that ran the risk of the beginning. Like, I almost stopped playing near the beginning because I was just like, okay, we'll get the idea, we're done. But I was just like, oh, it's the last game, let's go a bit further. And now we've gone a bit further. I like this stuff more, but it's like, it's different. You've almost got a different game buried halfway down here. Now there's not enough space to get over! So you do, I guess you gotta get down that right away, right? But not that early, because otherwise you fall. Can't go down there before the camera says so. Oh, come on. Just want to clear that one platform. I don't even want to do the whole game. Fuck! Why don't you just stand up into it like that? It just moves so annoyingly slowly. Okay, we did it. You can probably press down as well, but I'm just... we're too late now, aren't we? Oh no, okay, we just about made it. It's chilled out a lot in that bit. Just good to have a bit of a chill bit in between. Good music progression. That's an asshole of a creature to put there though, that bit. Fuck. God, don't do that again. That was weird. It's like there's a weird like extra buffer at the bottom. Wiggle the butt. Butt wiggle. Oh, for some reason thought I was under that. I mean the tiles have no transparency, the slopes. Alright, I think that'll do. It's good! It's cool. Are you gonna tell me you thought the time it's 275? I just like I know it takes me a while because I obviously do a lot of commentary and stuff on things, but even if I was just playing them and just be like play like a couple of minutes and then rate, I don't think I could do 275. Like I don't know. I find those numbers a bit sus when I see things like that. I'm just like, are you actually like thinking about these ratings like at all? How much of these games are you getting this in? If I had played that for long enough to be able to do 275 ratings, I'd have played like the first few bits and be like, it's alright, controls are a bit rubbish. Yeah, cool, move on. Anyway, let's actually think about this. No, your team, right? I suppose if you're all on the same account rating games. Wow, and that's a strat, isn't it? Having a Christ. Some are quick to rate, you're right, but anyway. Fun, yeah, it's weird. Like the later half of the game is like really fun. Otherwise, like a lot of like challenges that are not necessarily hard but are like unforgiving because they just any hit will just kill you. And so the longer it got, the more tedious it got, and that first level is quite long. As it got further and each challenge became a bit more significant in and of itself, it became a bit more interesting, I think. And some of the physics are just a bit wonk. You know, the slopes being that fast. I know it's kind of part of it a bit later down. Especially when you first experience it, it's a bit like, oof. And it's just like it has a change in tone that I don't know works for it. Either tone is okay, and I prefer the second tone that's a bit more aggressive. And a bit more like this is hell, you know? Like I think that synergizes with the whole idea a bit better, but I don't know that it works. They felt a bit separate. But then again, you know, you said you balanced overall difficulty and stuff. Maybe you've reworked that already. Audio is really nice. I kind of wish it held on to a sense of progression all the way through. It feels like it does that per level. But then each like the start of each level kind of feels like going back to the beginning of it. I don't know. I guess I don't know how far you can get. I kind of want to read some of these things. Innovation or falling auto scroll. That's interesting. Graphics are really well done. I don't really dig the scan lines. Personally, it's not. I never think it really works as a look. It's like you've got to get that exact mix right of getting like the CRT look of bending things and so on. And most games like do it wrong or weirdly, so they end up having to give you a bunch of sliders and the options like turn it all like specific things. And even then, like it's hard for an individual player to get it to a point where it looks good even to them. So I usually turn it off in like every game that has it. Loop here is the only one I've seen. I don't know. It's just got the numbers tweaked just about right. But I just never usually like it. That might just be me. Humor gets a point and a half for the silly ladder death trap nonsense. In fact, you can have two. But other than that, it wasn't really trying to be funny, I don't think. Uh, yeah, it's good. Noisy Jam version as well. Yeah, it's very good. I both really like and really don't like the transition, like when you die, of like just the zoom in. I think it's because it just throws my perception of the screen. Like I'm looking very closely at one bit of the screen to do a thing, and then I hit a thing, and then like it like centers it. I think it's just a bit too jarring for me. But I like it's also presented aesthetically really nicely. It's just the gameplay part of it. I don't know. I mean, feel free to submit if you think that's a lot different. You feel free to submit the post jam again in another week. I do these every Friday. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about that one. It's good. 192 ratings. God. Speaking of, I guess I could use this as an opportunity to get more ratings on my stupid thing. My game way full. Again, kind of a similar game, I guess. But if anyone else ended a little right, I guess there's a bunch of you in the channel probably who haven't played my thing. Play my thing, and then if I was mean about your game, you can be mean about mine. Oh, we've hit the 50 mark on ratings given. To say every game I've rated, I've done on stream in this exact way. So it, 50 for me feels like loads. I don't feel like I've done loads, and then I see some people like rated like 400 games. I'm like, my game is extremely mean. It's designed explicitly from the get go to be aggressively mean. So have fun. I want to read this though. Concept. We had nothing done. We decided to do everything from scratch, which for 22 hours. Well, yeah, oops. That's the idea. 70 hours was very difficult and tiring, at least for me. At the beginning of the project, we did not intend to make. Oh, really? Gosh. Because it's quite cool that I would like to do one of these in a bigger team one days because I always do them solo. It'd be interesting just because you can really focus on one specific area of artistry, you don't have to actually do the kitchen sink and try and really like hyper prioritize and do everything just as well as you can with the time you have. Um, it's definitely very nice to be able to like, or it seems like it would be very cool to actually sit and really think about something in detail. Maybe it's something I'd have to like arrange a bit beforehand, right? And I'm no good at that. It's just like, it's Lindor this weekend. I guess I'll make a video for it. I'm doing it. Cool. I'm reading the game design one. Really happy with all the feedback we getting. We weren't expecting it. Thanks to everyone. First game, gosh. Very scared by the time 72 hours. You'd be surprised, you know. A lot of people are like, "How is that possible?" Being like, as hard as you think. Extremely challenging, but it was particularly amazing for this community. Hmm. Yeah, I figured. Oh man, I was hoping to read a lot more about the level design here, but it's just like there's like one little line. Oh really? So in the post jam it became less torturous? It's weird because I thought it was most interesting then. Anyway, see you, Joel likes pigs. We're not streaming for much longer anyway. Wait, what? Oh, is this post jam stuff? You got an icon that indicates it's safe to jump. You've got some text that just tells you the basics of how to play the game. Spam left and right to unfreeze. Did you remove the ability of space to unfreeze? I think that because I think that's the issue, the fact that you could do it with space or other buttons. Like if you want people to do it left and right, just make it so only those can do it. I assume you probably did. You forgot. Okay, it's cool. These are good. That's a good change. That icon there is cool. Yeah, I like it. Programming, eh. Sorry, programmer. I don't care. I care a little. Just not enough right now. Cool. That, my friends, is all for today. Um, you know what I'm gonna do? I think maybe we'll keep. I might just keep this list as it is. Um, I don't want people to be able to submit and then come back 4 weeks later or something and be like, "Okay, I'm in with priority." Hmm. I'll see how I feel next week. I'll leave it for now. Anyway, that's me for today. Thank you very much, everyone who submitted a game. That was cool. Hope you enjoyed the new system, our exciting raffles and whatnot. Um, we do these streams every single Friday, Feedback Friday. It's not just related to Lundari. Today was all game, every Friday we do Feedback Friday. We take any games, any skill level, any reason you think they might be interesting to play, or any reason you think my feedback might be helpful or interesting, or whatever the hell else you want to get out of it. As long as it's some kind of dialogue, you know, I don't want people to just use it as a way to show off their games. But yeah, we do it every week. Last week we did like a stream every day, and we were just doing Ludum Dare games because Ludum Dare is a special occasion, and obviously we've got a lot of Ludum Dare games at the moment because a lot of people just did Ludum Dare. But it is not exclusively for Ludum Dare. You know, any games you want. But if they are Ludum Dare games, I will rate them just as I've been rating everything else, and just as I took part in Ludum Dare, etc. Well, you don't need to. There's no advantage to keeping the list for raffles in Mutate Zero because like people can just put it on the list again. Like there's no advantage to where you are in the list for raffles because it's just whoever's in chat at the time anyway. I haven't decided how I want to do priority. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it. Anyway, we got like 52 people here. Is there anyone we can raid? There's probably someone still streaming like LD games or whatever, right? Sure, at me. Really? The other one? Sad face. We got any Game Maker devs? See you, Neo Shade Zero. I mean, goodbye everyone soon enough. Back seating allowed. Wow, brave. No Game Maker folk either. Dry day for streaming. What's this? Dungeon Man's. MMORPG, game dev and pixel art. Gosh. Let's see what this is about.
Zircon, dear friend of mine. Is he streaming now? Like right now? No. Is he? No, he's not. Okay.
Almost sounds like he's talking about finding someone to raid. I want to raid someone who's about to quit.
All right. So this is my.
No, okay, he's
When you
talking
have
about
a
the game.
bird, it's the central sprite here. Snip back wrestling.
Okay, we're just gonna go here.
And as the
In
stats
absence
go
of
up in
any
this
Game Maker
direction,
devs or anything else to do. So, thank you everyone for watching.
you look like a different.
Be nice
bird.
to play Dungeon
And I have
Man's.
to coach
Check
his
out their
grid
game,
somehow. I'm
whatever
not
crap,
exactly sure how to do it,
whatever it is they're doing.
I'll figure out how to make that happen.
And I'll see you all next Friday. New episode of the RPG is out as well, and go
Probably a
check
lot
that out
of
if you're
this,
interested.
If that, if this, if that.
Bye
bullshit,
bye.
whatever.
Well, actually, hang on. Hit raid and then
yeah,
let
where you are in this
viewers,
stream,
long
which
viewers are
friends.
ready to raid. Yeah, ready to
So,
raid.
I need
4,
to.
3,
Like,
2,
there's my.
1. 29 of you. Alright, it'll do. Oh, 30 of you. Alright, let's go.